Happy Monday, degenerate gamblers. Welcome on back to the Die Hard MMA podcast for a very special show tonight. That's right. It is UFC 323, the last pay-per-view of 2025. I wasn't sure we were going to make it here this year, folks. I've been getting my butt kicked left, right, and center. I would use harsher language, but you actually get, hit on YouTube if you're cursed within the first 5 minutes or so. I've been getting plastered the entire freaking year trying to bet this stupid sport. And I considered pulling the plug on the podcast about 27 different times because of how awful it's been. But we did it. We made it. We've got a big pay-per-view. It is an amazing card. And of course, you guys know, first and foremost, okay, I am not the best gambler on planet Earth. I'm not even close. I'm not even scratching the top 10, okay? I'm an entertainer. I'm here to bring you guys joy and help you get some info so you can make some educated bets, but I always bring the heat. My claim to fame is I have the best guest list in MMA, all the most awesome people you could possibly want to hear breaking down fights and talking this crazy sport that we like to bet on. Almost slipped up again. We're at the 2-minute mark. I can't cuss yet. But I've got the best guest list in the game. So I'm bringing the heat for UFC 323. But not only that, it gets better. It gets better than that. It's your boy's birthday. No, we're not doing birthday week. I'm not saying Saturday. Today. It's my birthday. So we're going to absolutely smash this card. My ass is old, okay? Like, let's just get that straight on out of the way. And on top of that, I'm going to need your guys' help because I know you guys are already blowing up the chat. I need a winner, okay? I need to degen out on some NFL tonight later on when I close down the show, when we're done breaking all this stuff down. I need something to sweat, and I need something that can, puff the pockets a little bit for Saturday. So you guys get in here and tell me what I need to bet on this evening, okay? But without further ado, I have to bring in the hardest hitter in the entire game. How else would we ever possibly end the best and biggest and last pay-per-view of 2025? We bring in one of the OGs, one of the most famous and prolific gamblers in the MMA space, my guy, Cody Safik. What's up, buddy?
Heyo, what is up, Clint? And don't worry, brother. It's been a weird year for a lot of people, but keep in mind, 2025 is one of those years that you can say, it was fixed. These guys are throwing the fights. Goddamn Isaac Dalgarian. And he's not the only one. Ho, ho, ho. He's not the only one. Luckily for us, it's a big pay-per-view this weekend. These guys make too much money to throw a fight for $70,000.
It's true.
Maybe not some of those guys in the prelims, but we'll talk about them. But as you mentioned, it's a loaded offering. And really, these are guys that have careers. They have legacies. And are likely going to do the right thing. Plus, the FBI is watching now. So you got to keep this thing on the straight and narrow. And for your birthday, by the way, you didn't mention this before we started the show. Happy birthday, brother. We'll hit a little something. If we can hit 2, 3, 4 lines for Clint's birthday, it'll be all worth it. So let's figure out who's going to shit in the apple pie. Yeah. Hopefully the S word is not going to get flagged by YouTube. But after the 5-minute mark, we'll get into that a little bit more.
Yes, sir. After the 5-minute mark, all bets are off on this podcast. But we're hoping to hit 2 or 3 parlay lines for you. I'm thinking this is a good week to hit that turkey hair transplant parlay, so we can go ahead and pay for that ticket. Go get a new hairline up here. What is up, chat? Welcome in, everybody. Live, we've got my guy Dream, the Grateful Dude. We got 11223AB. What's up, buddy? George Ray Pro. Kurtz, we've got everybody pouring in. Dick's Insider. Dylan, what's going on? We've got Barry Lang. We have got TH. What is up, buddy? Everybody getting rolling in here. I know I didn't list off everybody. You guys are pouring in by the minute. Ryan, what's up, buddy? Thank you guys very much for being here. And yeah, Mr. Wipeout, that's facts. They are absolutely all gambling, every single one of them. We were talking backstage before the show started a little bit, man. Phantom 30-27s, the judges are paid off, the refs are letting guys die in the cage to get the over 1.5. Like, this is already the hardest sport on earth to gamble on, besides maybe baseball. And now that we know that people are fixing stuff, man, I'm right there with you. It's the worst year of my life, and I'm just going to blame every single bit of it on Isaac Bulgarian. It doesn't matter that I anchored a guy like Kevin Holland. That's not on me. That's not on me. Isaac Bulgarian's fault for 2025.
God damn, Isaac Bulgarian. I will disagree with you on one point. So yeah, baseball you obviously can't bet, but hockey is not a bettable sport.
Oh, I love hockey.
Is pretty much not. You can bet basketball at your own risk. Tennis is absolutely fixed to the nines. The number one guy will just randomly lose to a fringe 100 player for no reason. Not necessarily number one guy. The number 3 guy will lose to a top 100 fringe player for some odd reason. And then football's probably more fixed than fighting. So
that's probably true, actually. That's it.
We're all collectively gambling on crooked. I'm just thinking, hopefully fighting's a little bit less crooked. But yeah, goddamn Bulgarian, that one's gonna haunt me for my New Year's resolution is to never talk about it again. But until then, it's gonna haunt me for another 3-4 weeks.
You got about a month.
Yeah, about a month.
Speaking of hockey, Cody, my guy up north, my friends up north, you guys love your like me. I've caught the bug. Guys, I'm telling you, Clayton Keller is going to score a goal tonight. Utah Mammoth, he's about plus 165. His dad just died, and he's playing the Sharks, and he historically beats up the Sharks. Just saying, that's my hot take. And he's
played for Arizona, so he's one of Clint's guys, and he's actually a pretty good goal scorer. So I'm not saying it's bad advice, but I don't watch enough hockey because I'm so submersed in raising 3 kids under the age of 3 and fighting.
I don't know how you do it.
Pretty much all I do. Fighting the kids, it's basically a kids fight club now. I mean, they just be fighting each other every day, and it's Lord of the Flies up in this bitch. Because there's just so many of them. You got to survive for yourself. So,
man, I got the one kid and the dog. I'm not about to be outnumbered. I don't know how you guys are doing it.
Yeah. Life comes at you fast, bro. Life comes at you fast. But yeah, let's talk about 14 fights.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it. So first and foremost, shout out cloudbet.com. You guys make sure you're using that link in the description below. Get signed up. We've got PFL this week. We got Karate Combat this week. And then we anchor it all with UFC 323 on Saturday. You've got some of the best prop lines in the entire market using cloudbet.com and up to $2,500 in welcome bonuses when you sign up using promo code DieHardMMA. And on top of that, you guys can live stream both Karate Combat and PFL right in the site page on cloudbet.com, the fight center. You guys don't have to deal with, where's it at? I have to use the bum ass ESPN app. I got to go download DAZN or wherever they're at these days. Don't have to worry about it. It's right there. It's on cloudbet.com. So perks all over the place. Get signed up. And let's go ahead and get into this card. My man. And everybody in the chat, hit that like button for us. Share the show. Let's get after it for this last card of the year. First fight of the night, Mohamed Naimov takes on Marion Santos, the Hillman versus the Legend. A little bit of a mismatch when it comes to the fight nicknames there, man. Marion Santos, I'm not going to lie, is a kid that kind of came out of nowhere. 16-1. He is just 25 years old, training out of Extreme Couture. He's off the Ultimate Fighter, 3-fight win streak. I'm not sure what to do with this kid. So I'll be honest with you, Cody. I wasn't really big on Con Offley. So when he won against Con Offley right off the Ultimate Fighter, it's like, okay, whatever. Knock that dude out. Wins kind of a greasy little split decision with Francis Marshall. It's like, that's not the best look in the world either. I know it probably wasn't a split decision, but still, like, it was close enough that you could make an argument. Some people were crying foul on that one when the decision went the other way, and one of those fights. And then they give him Sodiq Yusuff, and frankly, he looked fantastic. As like a near even money pick'em type favorite, he looked great against Sodiq Yusuff. Now he gets Mohamed Naimov, 13-3, 31 years old. This guy's on a 2-fight win streak. The one fight that was a bit of a bump in the road for him before that was Felipe Lima, where he gave up that rear naked choke in the 3rd round. He was looking okay in that fight. That was a very competitive back and forth fight. And then he slips up in round 3, slows down a little bit, gives up a position. Felipe Lima, we know, is very dangerous, a prospect we're all very excited about. Kind of hard to hold that one against him. So these are a couple of guys that have both had big, shiny moments in the UFC so far. And then a couple of them who also have kind of let down just a little bit. Naimov is a guy that I've put kind of a little asterisk next to his name. I really want to bet him at plus money. I don't ever really want to be laying chalk on Naimov, but at 5-1, even if you were laying chalk on him, how could you argue it? And this line is pretty wide, man. Marion Santos minus 270, Muhammad Naimov plus 220. This is one of those classic fights to start the night, Cody, where I feel like I want to say the line is a little bit too wide, but I don't know that I can get to the dog either. I think Marion Santos can win this fight. What do you think of this one, man?
Yeah, listen, Santos is a young kid, so he's continuously getting better, and I'm one of these guys that's a big fan of him. When he was on The Ultimate Fighter, he looked good. He looked like he was by far the best guy in the house. He was a late pick in the draft, but he beat the top guys, Edwin, and a lot of the guys that were supposed to be the tournament favorites, and then eventually beats Con Offley. Like you said, you don't rate Con Offley, but if you watch that fight, Marion Santos absolutely kills him. And then, of course, there's the Francis Marshall fight. Now, everybody says it was a robbery and that Francis Marshall won, but I'm an advocate of, if you're looking at control time, yeah, Francis Marshall shot a couple takedowns. He got a couple takedowns. He rode a little bit of control time. But all the actual damage, the significant strikes, was all Marion Santos. Now, the fight that against Sodiq Yusuff, it's a weird one. He moves up to 155 pounds. And even though he's only 5'7", as you mentioned, he looked really good in that fight. Maybe lightweight's his new home. And yet, here he is, dropping back down to 145. I expect this to be the best weight class for him. Just he's got to dial in these weight cuts. So, kind of do want to see him on the scales. How does he look back in his featherweight return? Was it an easy cut? And beyond that, I know he only shows 50% takedown defense in the UFC. I know the Francis Marshall fight, he gave out a couple takedowns. He's been spending a lot of time in Vegas. He's been spending some time in Brazil with the Fighting Nerds. I feel like his grappling is actually just fine. Even when he gets taken down, for the most part, he's getting right back up. And the thing with Naimov is he's low volume. He'll muscle down a couple takedowns of his own, but if you can force these exchanges, he's only really putting up 40 significant strikes landed would be a big performance for him. Of course, you go back to the fight with Nathaniel Wood. He cheats multiple times. He's grabbing his shorts. He's grabbing his gloves. He's grabbing the cage. Like anything he can do to get by. He's kind of known as having some lackluster cardio. And in that last fight with Bogdan Grad, he got out scrambled and out muscled in some spots. Now, turns out Bogdan Grad is a go-getter who can get these victories. But I think the same thing with Mayron Santos. He's 25 years old. He's getting better fight to fight. He's got a striking advantage. He's got the volume. In a pay-per-view card, and you've got some live fans, there's a live crowd. It's not the Apex. They're likely looking for damage over control time, and I think he'll rack that up. So for me, I think that Mayron Santos does get the win. But the thing with Naimov is he's one of these Tajik fighters from Tajikistan. He's strong, he's physical, and he might make this thing close early when he can get takedowns or hold you up against the cage or throw just a big old overhand right, clinch you up, have a good moment. Longer it goes, he'll start to slow and Santos will take over. So I'm waiting for Wayne's before I really have a definitive angle on this one. I don't love the money line on Mayron Santos, but he's the pick for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, man. I mean, that age-old angle for betting for me, though, is you bet the guy with more chest hair. So Muhammad Naimov is somebody...
No more back hair. And yes, he's got tons of that. So you're not wrong there, bud.
Got to give a little bit of an edge there to him. So I'm with you, man. I can't say dog or pass. It's favored or pass, but the line is probably a little too wide. I want to see how they size up. So definitely want to circle back a little later in the week. Next up, you guys... We've got Mansur Abdul-Malik, and he's taking on Antonio Trócoli. The UFC absolutely determined to make Mansur Abdul-Malik a star, and he's got all the makings of it, man. I mean, this guy is just... holy crap. Like when we talk about somebody who's got a physique, or when someone uses the term physical specimen, like they're talking about a guy like Mansur Abdul-Malik. He is massive. He's not quite on Alonzo Minifield's level when it comes to the muscle, but he has got it all over the place, man. He's coming off a bit of an unfortunate run-in with Cody Brundage, as many do. You can't get out of a fight clean with Cody Brundage. He goes in, closes the distance, crashes the pocket, and what happens? They clash heads. Cody drops like a sack of potatoes, and they end up overturning that fight to a no contest. It's one of those ones where a lot of people cry foul, but when you go back and you watch the clip, it's like, yeah, like he kind of speared him with his head, man. Like by the rule of the law, that is probably an illegal strike that changed the course of the fight. It was going to happen anyway. It was a matter of when, not if, but Cody squeaks out of there with another overturned result. So it's a draw. They got to get Mansur on track. What do? They call up Antonio Trócoli. And the funniest thing about this fight is that Trócoli already tried it to avoid it, man. This fight was booked back in February. Trócoli hasn't fought in all of 2025. He's been busy playing poker. They tried to book him against Mansur in February, and he was like, I can't do it. Can't do it. And now they got him back in there. He's going to have to face him. He's 0-2. He's been finished twice. And I'm sorry, I can never take Trócoli seriously ever again. I actually tried to bet on Trócoli against Shara Bullet, more because it was a fade on Shara Bullet than it was a bet on Trócoli. Shara's a fraud, man. I wanted anybody with any kind of grappling to get in there and try and take him down and do something with him on the mat. Didn't work out. But then you lose to Tresean Gore. Not only did you lose to Tresean Gore, you got submitted in the first round by Tresean Gore. It doesn't get much lower than that for me, Cody. This guy is off the charts bad, and they're sending him in there to be murdered by Mansur Abdul-Malik on Saturday.
Yeah, it seems to be the repetitive theme that's happening on there's one designated squash match on all of these cards. And normally it's these Russians like Sursakayev will take his chance 1 week, and then 2 weeks ago in the last card, same thing. It's some other Russian prospect, and in this case, it's Mansur Abdul-Malik at minus 1,200. Like, you don't usually see those kind of lines on a UFC card, and yet every week there's one of them. And it's somebody that they're trying to build up. I think they are trying to build this guy up, and then coming off that fight with Cody Brundage, they can't give him a top 30 guy in the world. They can't give him a top 40 guy in the world because, as you explained it, it's a no contest, but it's everything that happens prior to the headbutt, the first 2 rounds, where he's losing. He's arguably down 2 rounds to Cody Brundage, fair and square. This guy's a former Maryland State champion wrestler. He wrestled 2 years D1 at the University of Maryland. And yet, is wrestling really not all that good? Is striking, freak athlete, like you said, specimen, great physique, natural power. When he touches guys, they seemingly go down. And yet, Cody Brundage has got questionable durability. Doesn't hit him. Cody Brundage also wrestled in college, but has been out-wrestled a number of times in his fight. Can't take him down. Cody Brundage is low volume. Abdul-Malik throws even less. So that one's mighty concerning. Now you got to bet the same guy as a minus 1,200 favorite over anybody is not a great prospect, but they figured the one guy that he's got and probably no questions against would be Antonio Trócoli. And Trócoli is billed as a BJJ black belt, but as you mentioned, the Shaur Magomedov fight, he shot 7 takedowns. He got 0. And so now he's forced to strike, impressive enough that he made it to the 3rd round against a guy with one eye, who is a good striker. But in the 3rd round, he gets TKO'd. After that, he gets a little comeback effort. The weird thing to me, though, is that Trócoli was on the Contender Series 6 years ago. In 2019, he was on the Contender Series. He beat Kenneth Berg, and then he tested positive for steroids. Since that fight in 2019, he's only fought once in 5 years. And yet, not having competed in 3 years, they brought him into that Shaur Magomedov fight. Why? Because they needed to build Shaur Magomedov, the guy with one eye. Trócoli, why else would you sign this guy? He's had one fight in the last 5 years, and he tested positive for steroids in his one fight on the Contender Series in 2019. And then with Tresean, I don't know, they really like Tresean. Everybody knows that. The guy just loses every time he fights in the UFC, and they keep trying to bring him back, so they gave Tresean the Trócoli treatment as well. Why would you not just cut the guy? Well, because we could use him. He's serviceable that he's probably going to be on the end of someone's highlight reel, and there's certain guys that we know are not good, but we're looking to build up because we think they could be good down the line. And Abdul-Malik is that guy, right? So I think he takes him down. I think he knocks him out. Whatever he wants to do, I think he's capable of doing it. He's got the advantage in all these areas. But again, if we're going to judge him off that last fight, it's a terrible fight. And now he's a 12-1 favorite over somebody. He's a bit of a tough prospect. So why not just auto-fade him? Well, for me personally, one, I think he is better everywhere. And a lot of the time we're quick to judge a guy who's young in his career. He's a prospect. He's only had a couple fights in the UFC. And all of a sudden you want to see him fight top 10 guys. You want to see him fight top 15 guys. He looks pedestrian against Cody Brundage, but this guy's still young. This guy's still developing. He could look infinitely better his next time around. We'll talk about Payton Talbott in a little bit. The guy loses. Everybody thinks he's a joke. And then his very next fight is a career best performance. And that's what's going to happen with these prospects that are building their way up. Sometimes it's like not even that you're young in age, but you may only have 10 pro fights. You have less than 15 pro fights. You've had less than 5 fights in the UFC. You're still just finding that rhythm, that comfort. And I think if he just even shows up at 40%, he'll still win this fight. But if he shows up as a better version than he did the last time out, then he should make it look convincing. So I don't love the minus 1200, but I am going to take.
Yeah, man, I think we're gonna have to look for like a KO prop or something like that if you really want to play it, because 1200, I'm not touching those bridge jumping prices. You're never gonna catch me with those. But he's just 28 years old, so yeah. The one thing I always give credit to Cody for is at this point he's like a UFC veteran. I know it's been all shenanigans and like weird results and stuff, but he has been in there with some of the best. He's been in there with some of the worst, and he's lost a lot of them. But at the end of the day, he's fought in the UFC 10 times. Like, this kid doesn't even have 10 professional fights yet. So he's 28 years old. He was at MMA Masters, and he is one of these like modern day MMA kids where he's trying to take like the football angle of social media. He keeps it real clean, man. His Instagram only has like 5 pictures up, but the most recent one, it looks like he's training at Extreme Couture. He's like sparring with Sean Strickland and stuff like that for his most recent photo that he uploaded. So if he's moved out to Extreme Couture,
sparring with Sean Strickland.
That's fair, but I like the gym.
Sparring people off the streets are sparring Sean Strickland. Navy SEALs, famous actors, NFL players, UFC fighters in every weight class. Sean Strickland, man, you want to get some sparring rounds in? That's the guy. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah,
no, you're
Strickland
good.
Sparring legend.
I'm just saying he's in the building at Extreme Couture, and I like Extreme Couture. So like, if you've got that coaching staff, if you've got those bodies working with you, I'm expecting improvements. So yeah, I'll probably try and look for a KO prop. It's going to be like minus 300.
I'll just say, like, again, he knocks out Dusko Todorovic and Wes Schultz and Nick Klein, and then with Cody Brunn. But a lot of the time, it's not Dusko. He knocks out quick, but Dusko's got no chin. Sometimes it's a little bit later. So I don't know what the over 1.5 on this thing is, but Trócoli made it to the 3rd round with Magomedov. Tresean choked him out. I don't think that Abdul-Malik's going to look to submit him. So yeah, maybe if you can get a plus money on the over 1.5 because he's expected to get blasted, maybe I take an angle like that. Or if you can get a good prop on, like Clint's saying, that the KO in any round, maybe try, if you want to get real exotic with it, like the KO in round 2 or the KO in round 3. Maybe he puts him away that way. But yeah, minus 1200. What else could you possibly do with it, right?
Yeah, I don't mind that look, man. I don't mind it at all. All right, here's a fun one, Cody. It's Ibo versus Iwo. Ibo Aslan takes on Iwo Baraniewski. I am sure I'm not saying that correctly. It's the first of 2 Polish fighters that we've got here on this fight card here. And guys, I'm sorry, but I got to take a little bit of a victory lap here. I called that Ibo was a fraud. Like, I straight up, from his first time stepping foot into the UFC cage, I was like, I don't like this guy. I'm going to fade him. He's 2-2 in the UFC, Cody. And I actually placed a pretty hefty bet on Anton Trócoli, the pleasure man, in his UFC debut. I'm still bummed the pleasure man ain't around, man, because he was putting it on Ibo in that first fight. He kept crowding him. He kept getting on him. And it looked like that fight. Yeah. So then, Ibo clips him in the 3rd round and puts him down. He gets his revenge. It's a good story. And then the UFC softballs him, Rafael Sequeira, the dude that trains out of, or, fights out of like gymnasiums and stuff like that. So really pretty fraudulent first 2 wins, but he's off and running, right? We all love the knockout power. He's fun. He's exciting. They give him my own Kutalaba, just like what you were talking about. They're rushing this kid to the top. We got a guy who can punch really hard. He's going to put up some awesome highlights. Let's give him my own Kutalaba. No, Ion schools him. Ion takes him straight to school, finishes him immediately in the 1st round. And then he gets beat up by Billy Elikana as a big favorite in his last fight. Now, Billy, it turns out, maybe some of us underestimated, right? But Ibo basically is a bully in there. He's a good hammer. He's a bad nail. He hits really hard. Outside of that, I'm not really sure what he's good at. He's kind of low on skills. If he's not just bullying you around the cage, he's not doing much. Now, this kid, Rudy, which epic fight name, by the way. Some of you might be too young, but if you ever need a good movie, search up Rudy, okay? First time I ever saw my father cry was watching Rudy, okay? It's in one of the top 5 all-time football movies, probably top 3 all-time football movies. Go watch Rudy. Anyway, kid is 6-0, 27 years old. He's making his UFC debut off Dana White's Contender Series, and generally speaking, Cody, that is an angle I like to fade. I don't like these guys making their UFC debuts, especially as favorites. And here he is, minus 185 coming in here against Ibo Aslan. But I went back and I looked at some of his regional tape, and I watched his Dana White's Contender Series fight again. Man, I like this kid. He's got some serious pop in his hands. He keeps a nice high tight guard, and the guy he fought on Dana White's Contender Series, it didn't even look like he touched him all that bad, Cody. He's got some serious power. I dare say he might have death touch, because the way he landed on that guy, it was just so smooth and effortless, and it looked like a punch the guy might roll with, and instead he just flopped. Like, the dude was done, completely disconnected. Ref had to step in and save him. Iwo has got some hands on him. So this is a very exciting prospect. And on top of that, one of the other things I like to see, he's got a really long amateur bout. So if he's even got the 6 pro fights, usually that's a little bit of a knock against some of these kids, right? You want to see him have a little bit more experience, get him going a little bit more than that, but he's got a massive amateur career. Now, not all of those necessarily are fights that you can hang your hat on or anything like that, but it shows he's got way more cage time and experience than his short record would show. And he's got 6 round 1 finishes, man. Every single fight has ended in round 1, 2 subs, 4 knockouts. He's a bully. He can drag people around the cage. He can cage push when he needs to. He can take people down. It looks like he's pretty savvy on the mat too. I looked at some of his passes when he got on top of a couple of people on the regionals and stuff. I like him. Rule of law, it's tough for me to lay minus 185, but I'm picking him. I like Iwo to come in here and fraud check Ibo one more time, send him on his 3rd straight L.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut and agree with that. Actually, I think I really like this kid as well. It's gonna go one way or the other with these random 6-0 Polish prospects. You're either gonna get a Merab Dvalishvili and be like, why did they sign this guy? Or you're gonna get an Iwo. This guy actually really looks good. I will admit I made the mistake of trying to fade him on the Contender Series. Muhammad Ali is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. Someone that I really thought was probably going to transition well. And with Iwo, all of his wins as a pro, 1st round finishes. His ground game, hasn't necessarily been tested. He is 17-3 as an amateur. It's super impressive. But those are amateur fights. And all I need is for Muhammad Ali to take him down. I'll tell you the exact moment I was screwed. It wasn't when Muhammad Ali got knocked out. It wasn't when Iwo came out here and started swinging them guns. It was the pre-fight package where it was like, oh, shit. This guy's not playing around. He's in really good shape. He's got tons of experience. He's matured the right way. He's 27 years old, but it's not I'm coming in and I'm super green. He took the amateur route of getting 20 amateur fights, winning these tournaments, competing multiple times, going a few rounds, fighting different styles. That now, even though he's not huge for the weight class, and yet he's given up 4 inches of reach to Ibo Aslan. He's given up, I think, 3 inches in the height department to Ibo Aslan. Is that he seems pretty mature. He's good on the ground. He's kind of well-rounded all over. He's capable of knocking you out early, and he's capable of dragging you out a little bit. Ibo is not someone that I ever rated. As you mentioned, he had the 2 fights with Trócoli. The one he lost on the regional scene, not a great look if we're being real. And then the second time around in the UFC, he rematches him. It was just kind of a strange fight altogether. But I jumped off him way big time after he beats Sicaria. Who cares? He beats Anton Trócoli. Nice little win. And he runs into Ion Kulab. I faded him there. But I knew Ion would have the ground game. It was really the Billy Alicana fight. He does lose as a big favorite, but beyond that, he landed 35% of his significant strikes in that fight. The whole fight is him staring at Billy Alicana, who really doesn't have any big power. I mean, maybe he's worried about getting taken down. I don't know. He whiffed at air the entire time, dapping this guy up, thinking he's winning these rounds, does not engage him, does not land anything. Billy actually does the bare minimum in that fight and still handedly outworks him. Outstrikes him 35-28. And this guy's been training at Extreme Couture. He's been putting in work. He's been getting in quality work. He's been sparring with Sean Strickland. And he's under-delivering as far as I'm concerned. So, 2-fight losing streak, whatever. 2-3 or 2-2 record in the UFC. They re-signed him for a contract. Pressure's on him. I get all that. But this Iwo Baraniewski kid, I just think he's a better striker. He's faster. He seems to have more pop in his shots. I think he's an absolute problem. So should this thing be lying closer to a minus 145 EWO, a minus 155 EWO? Yeah, minus 185. You start to get into that territory where clearly the money is on him, and you don't want to overpay. But in the Ibo versus Iwo showdown, legendary Iwo versus Ibo. Yeah, I'm taking the IWO for the big victory there, bud.
Somebody's always got to go. And now, Cody, the only question is, are we getting hustled? Because that fight with Billy Elicana, man, the 30 significant strikes against 28 significant strikes, just staring at a guy that doesn't have pop in his hands. Is this another Bulgarian situation?
You know what? If the FBI was like, hey, dude, we're investigating 100 fights and these are the ones, that I would be like, yeah, that one looks mad suspicious because he was a big favorite. He was expected. And if you look at his win condition, on the Contender Series, he knocks out Paulo Renato Jr. in the first round. It was a nice knockout. The Anton Trócoli, he knocked him out in the third round. Shit, this is a kid whose power translates. He can knock you in the first. He can knock you in the third. He's big, good size. Good-looking Turkish guy. Okay, let's roll with this. Rafael Sakaria, bum. They gave him the bun treatment. He gets the first-round knockout. Yeah, that's a weird one. Big favorite over Billy Elicana. Obviously, you can say, oh, people overestimated or underestimated Billy Elicana. Why? Because he beat Kevin Christian after that? Like, the verdict's not fully out on Billy. He still might be shit. But there's a lot of bad guys in the division. And so that one was an eye-opener of like, yeah, he's not even trying to win this fight at all. And if they told me that it was a work, or they told me that it was that he tore his hamstring and that he was like went into that fight because he was behind on his mortgage payment and had it to make a few bucks, yeah, I would believe it, dude. I'd
completely agree. I'd completely believe it.
Yeah, I hate to throw out those accusations because I know what fighters go through and the hard work and the effort, and but again, it's when you're betting and the better's not, oh man, they have to do this, I put my money on it. Like, people whine way too much. But when you're in a betting sport, and fighting clearly is a betting sport, yeah, it's like there's an expectation that you're going to try your best. And when you go in there and just, I'm going to self-preservation and not take any damage and dance around the outside and collect a paycheck, it leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. But we do it to ourselves. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, after that fight, I was like, I am no longer. I faded him against Ion Cutelaba. Made money there. I'll fully admit, I lost all that money right back in that Billy Elicana fight. And seeing him not try at all, I can give you a pass against Ion. Eon's better than you, and he has a good ground game. Against Billy's not even trying to take you down. He's a grappler who's quite literally just standing there, and you're just standing in front of him. The difference is that he's landing 52 or 53% of his strikes. So if he throws 2, he's going to land 1. You're landing 30% of your strikes. You got to throw 3 to land 1. And you ain't throwing 3, dog. You're just sitting there watching them. So I know that sounds, it's very mathematical. It's very numerical. It's not all stats. It's not. I get it. But this is way simpler. I'm trying to win a fight. It requires me to throw fucking punches now, doesn't it? And he's not throwing punches. Sorry for dropping the F-bomb. I don't know. I'm sure we're over the 5-minute mark. But,
no, we're good.
Yeah, you said earlier, like, if you want to get fired up and go talk, I didn't expect to get fired up by Ibo. He's fucking dead to me, Clint. I'm not betting him ever again. Therefore, Baraniewski is my boy, and I'm hoping he whips his ass, okay?
I hear you. We are all team Iwo here. If you're either Bo or Woe this week, and we're gonna be Woe. I like it. Let's get our money back. A pound of flesh. Come on, Iwo. Get this thing done for us. DJ, yeah. All of us degenerates were a little sad about the 6-week break. That is gonna be a bit of a long vacation. As far as content creation goes, it's probably nice to be able to pack up shop and get away from it for a little bit. Everybody enjoy the holidays, but it'll be a rough run there with no football. I'm sorry, with no fights. I'm already thinking about the next thing I'm going to respond to here. Dixon says they made them watch Rudy in high school, and that should be required learning, okay? You went to a good school if they made you watch Rudy.
Dude, it's Sean Astin's third best movie, and Sean Astin's been a lot of good movies, so yeah, it's a classic.
It's good stuff. All right, guys, next up, we've got Edson Barboza and the returning Jalen the Tarantula Turner. My God, Cody, you're going to have to help me out with this one, man, because I don't know what to make of this fight. Edson Barboza is one of these ageless Brazilians, man. He's just hanging around for freaking ever. And I always want to say, well, he's old. He's getting up there, man. Maybe it's time to it's never time to fade him. I mean, like, you give him like the toughest fights, like Lerone Murphy. Okay, yeah, he lost that one. I mean, the Drakkar Klose fight, I actually was really excited about that one. I met Drakkar Klose over the last year or so a couple times at some local shows here in Arizona. Really cool dude. So shout out Drakkar if you're listening. So him winning that one was really cool. That's kind of a bad look, but like Billy Q, Sadiq Youssef, like he's in there with Bryce Mitchell, the crazy delay knockout of Shane Burgos. Like, This guy's just fought the who's who, and he's 2-2 in his last 4. Still seems like he's kind of got it. Now he's moved up to 155 pounds. We were wondering how he killed himself to get down to 145. So now he's a little bit healthier. He's got a little bit more muscle. He doesn't have to cut quite as much weight. Still a big guy at this weight class, but he's about to get size bullied, man. Jalen Turner. That's how you get Durantula, is Jalen the Tarantula Turner. My God, tongue twister. 14-9. He's still just 30 years old, which is crazy. I feel like he's been around forever, but he's just 30 years old. He went on a real rough skid. 1-4 in his last 5 fights. His last 2 fights, he got steps up in competition. The UFC really kind of gave him a shot. Renato Moicano and Ignacio Bahamondes, and both those guys put him in the ground. Before that, though, he one-punches Bobby Green. Back-to-back split decision losses to guys like Dan Hooker and Mateus Gamrot. Now, the Hooker fight, bit of a rough look. Almost killed the guy with a head kick in the very first round. I don't know how Hooker survived that one. That's the one where you look back at and you're just like, damn, dude. Like 99% of people just keel over from that one. Somehow Hooker didn't, came back, beats his ass, puts a 10-8 on him in the 3rd round, almost gets him out of there. So, kind of a rough look for it to go to a split decision the way that it did, but a split decision he very well could have gotten the nod for against Mateus Gamrot in a very tough, very close fight. Like when this guy's on, he really can compete at kind of the highest level. So an aging Barboza moving up a weight class versus a returning, rejuvenated Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner is a guy that is really tough to trust at this kind of a price tag. We're closing in on minus 300 at this point. So that's not great, especially because he's kind of round 1 or bust. I hate laying chalk on round 1 or bust guys, Cody, because it's like if you lay the chalk instead of just betting like the round 1 or the inside the distance, you feel like a complete jackass come round 2 when they're fighting for their life and you're screaming at the TV for them to do something. It doesn't feel good. So I got to pick Jalen Turner. I think he'll be successful in his comeback fight. I think he can get his grappling going against Edson Barboza, and then he'll just be too big. So I kind of like Jalen Turner by sub. I feel like that's always been kind of an underestimated part of his game, is when he gets his grappling going, he's really slick on the mat. So I'll say Jalen Turner via submission. It probably comes early, round 1. But this is a really volatile fight, man. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, I got Jalen Turner. The one thing is that he just retired like a few months ago. So now you're dealing with a guy is he 1 foot in? Is he 1 foot out? Is he rejuvenated? Is he all of a sudden, hey, I want this and my career is back on track? And if so, what does this new version of him look like? But he's 9 years younger than Edson Barboza. So he could probably afford to retire 2-3 times. And his skills won't have regressed that much. Again, he's almost a decade younger. I still think he'll be the guy that's going to come in a little bit, obviously a lot bigger, but just younger, faster, and more prone to hit that target. Thing you got to realize about him, you basically broke this down yourself, is that he was on a 5-fight winning streak in the UFC before running into Mateus Gamrot. And he drops Mateus. He is winning the fight, and then it gets, the longer it goes, gets a little tired and loses a split. Imagine it went in his way. It could have gone in his direction. And then the Hooker fight. He's not credited with having a knockdown, but he does knock Dan Hooker down. Watch the fight if you want. He absolutely knocks down Dan Hooker. And then, maybe 10-8 Hooker in the first round. But doesn't put him away. Starts to get tired. It becomes a dogfight. And he also loses a split decision. The fight with Renato Moicano. At the end of the first round, boom, he tries to Mark Hunt him. Drops Renato Moicano like a sack of potatoes. Turns around and tries to walk away. Like the fight's done. The round ends. The second round starts. He starts to tire. Moicano takes him down. Finishes him in the second. In a different universe, he knocked out Gamrot. He knocks out Hooker. He knocked out Renato Moicano. But the fight game is very unforgiving. He's not losing any of these fights by giant margins. It's like slight mistakes in fights he's otherwise looking really good in. And then that last fight with Ignacio Bahamondes, he did not look good. He got caught in the triangle and he gets subbed. That is just a lot of pressure on a guy. You go from a 5-fight winning streak to having 1 win in your last 5 fights. You're 1-4 in a bad 5-fight stretch. Do you want to do this anymore? You're constantly grinding and cutting weight. He's 6'3", constantly cutting weight and dieting and sacrificing family time, sacrificing your health, and you're coming in and you're leaving no stone unturned. You're dedicating everything you got. You're giving it everything. And you're not getting the result. Of course, it's going to be demoralizing. And yeah, you want to take some time away. But the facts are the facts, is that he's way bigger than Edson Barboza. If this was a version of Edson that was still capable of bringing war, then Edson might be able to go out there, have a bad first round, take a beating in the first round, which we've seen Edson do a lot of times. But then the second and the third, if he's still there and you start to slow, Jalen Turner does in every fight, Edson's going to start to take over. He's going to turn the gas on. It's this 39-year-old version of him. I don't think that's the case. People, of course, will remember the last time I hit a big UFC PRP was Edson's last win, where we called him as the underdog against Sodiq Yusuff. And he got shit kicked in the first round.
I can't believe that fight went on, man.
Oh, he got a shit kicked, and then he survived. And that's what I'm saying. If he was to do that against Jalen Turner, this is a real fight. I faded him against Laurel Murphy because it's like you can't do that forever. He took a lot of damage in that fight. You want to know other fights he took a lot of damage in? When Giga Chikadze knocked him out. Better than that, his fight with Justin Gaethje. Oh my God. Worse than that, the fight with Kevin Lee, where Kevin Lee put him out in the 5th after drubbing him. His fight with Khabib, it was a drubbing. His fight with not Tony Ferguson. When was the one he got separated from consciousness bad? There's just been a number of them. He's got a lot of wear and tear. I remember my brother. My brother is not a big fight fan, but we used to watch fights all together, and we'd say, "Yo, we're gonna bet this guy. We're gonna bet that guy." My brother would just have the world's shittiest advice of all time, the shittiest advice when it came to betting fights. It would just be laughable. So we're all saying, okay, everybody write down what your best pick is this week, and collectively as a pool of 5 or 6. This is a long time ago. We're gonna make these picks. My brother submits that Jamie Varner is going to knock out Edson Barboza. Like, are you smoking crack, man? Like, what would even compel you to make a stupid ass? Gets laughed out of the room. Anyways, Jamie Varner knocks the fuck out of Edson Barboza. and at that moment, it was like, Edson might never be the same. And he's taken thousands of significant strikes. He's been knocked out a bunch more times since then. The guy just keeps going. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking like a Timex. I don't know. I'd say Edson Barboza 3 years ago, absolutely live. And in this spot, maybe he's still live, but all I can leave you with is bet him after the first round. He's either going to get knocked out in the first round, you don't got to worry about it, or he'll take a 10-8 beating in the first round, survives, think about the plus money you're going to get him after the first. And then in the second or the third, that's where Jalen Turner just starts to slow. Edson will fight his way back into it, but I'm not sure it makes it that far. So for me, the tarantula gets back on track. I think he'll be motivated. I think, again, he's real big, but maybe another fight worth looking at weigh-ins. You know, a good shape guy, sure, but the older you get, the more times you've got to make the weight, the harder it gets. And I kind of think that Jalen Turner at 170 could be a Neil Magny type. He could be a Phil Rowe type. He could be use this length. But you're still going to be huge up a weight class, but maybe these weight cuts are hurting you, dog. We'll see, though, but I do want to see weigh-ins. But again, the pick is going to be Turner for me.
I'm telling you, man, I'm going to call it now. If Turner misses weight this week, he's not going to compete at 170, Cody. He'll compete at 185. He will pull an Anthony Rumble Johnson. He sucks himself down so hard to get to 185. His legs are about this big around because he has to find a way to get the weight off somewhere. If he lets himself blow up to 170, his body's going to go, we're going higher, and he'll end up at 185. But all good points, man. The CTE Hall of Fame, Barboza, Hooker, Holloway. No idea how those guys are still fighting after the amount of damage that they've taken. So, yeah, I think it's Jalen Turner. I think he gets it done early, and hopefully he takes the smart route, which is get this fight to the ground. I wouldn't count out him just sparking Edson with one of the first shots that he throws. That's what he's known for. He does that to people. He's got stupid power. I need to find an interview, though. I want to hear a couple of interviews and see where his head is at before I do anything crazy with this one. But I could see myself getting to like a Turner inside the distance or something like that.
Yeah, well, you know, like you said, it's good to get a little read of like where's his head at? Where's he been thinking? Where's he? Because again, it's like a short retirement. And I'll admit, the last guy that really kind of did this was Jimmy Crute. He retired, and then like 6 months later, it's like he's back and he's reinvigorated. But if we're being real, he looked like shit when he came back. And he
hasn't really same guy.
Yeah, bro, he's made zero improvements to his game. He does.
What's that
win.
meme? But he just took 2 steps backwards, where it's like he's like standing like 5 feet back in like the weight loss photo.
Well, after retirement, he came back to like the Bellato fight, and then I think he retired after that one, and then he comes back and yeah, he beats Marcin Prachnio, but he looked bad until the finish, and then he gets this Ivan Erslan. But it's the same thing, is that sometimes you're down on yourself, your confidence is low, so it's easy to say, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm done with this. But fighting, like many other aspects of life, it's confidence based, man. You know how many fights are won before they've started? Because one guy's like, I'm about to kill this man. And the other guy's like, oh shit, I shouldn't be here. Even Donald Cerrone, he's on record being like the Anthony Pettis fight. He's like, I lost before they rang the bell to start the fight. I looked over at him and I thought to myself, dude, I messed up talking all that shit. I'm about to get my ass kicked. And then the fight started and I froze. He landed one body kick and I went down. It's like, what's intimidating about Anthony Pettis? He's got the haircut and the tan and the glasses and little goatee and little gold chain. But it's like that he's running off the cage and punting people in the face. That Anthony Pettis is actually a really dangerous dude. Superman punched, KO'd Wonderboy Thompson moving backwards. Like, the guy's an animal. And then that all runs through your head. Oh my God, I'm about to get separated from my consciousness. And I brought my grandma. What was I thinking bringing my grandma to this fight with me? Oh my God. And I called the guy a loser too. Oh, he's probably so pissed off about that. Oh, then the fight starts and you're done. You're done. I'm not saying all that's going through Jalen Turner's mind, but there were like, oh, Jalen Turner's back. Let's give him Antonio Trócoli. They were like, let's give him Edson Barboza.
Good luck, kid.
It's not a great welcome back to the party kind of thing. So, I mean, listen, the ball's in his court, and I do think he wins, but it's not exactly the easiest comeback fight if you're having second doubts about your future as a prize fighter.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, we'll rock with Jalen Turner. Wise Weeds. Wise Weeds. I am having a tough time, you guys. I am struggling this evening. Wise words from Beat Fanatic here. You can see value in anyone if you convince yourself enough. And ain't that the truth? If you think long and hard enough, you can find an angle if you're really searching. So be careful. Think long, think wrong. Usually it's that first instinct, boys. So yeah, Jalen Turner inside the distance for me. Next up, you guys, we've got Marvin Vettori taking on Bruno the Hulk Ferreira. And Cody, I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need your help, buddy. Why? Because I know when I'm biased on a fight, okay? I can recognize in myself when I've got a bias on or against a certain guy. And the problem is in this fight, we've got worlds colliding here. I have been so biased towards Marvin Vettori being this undiscovered gem, being this tough as nails guy that just refuses to die, being the Darren Elkins of 185 pounds. And I'm like, you watch. He's a young kid. He's durable. He's brutal tough. He'll turn it around. He'll get there. You know, he had that surgery that set him back. Don't you worry. He'll bounce back. He's going to be good. He's going to make it. I've lost so much money betting on Marvin Vettori the last couple of years, expecting him to turn that corner and prove me right. And then on the flip side of this, you got Bruno, who's a meme machine. Like, this guy's got judo hips, and that's impressive. He's a BJJ guy. He's coming off back-to-back arm bars, but over who exactly? Nobody. And he just nukes people with like these big power shots, but he's got bad cardio. He's got a bad gas tank. We've seen him slow down in fights. We've seen him get exposed a couple times. And so I want to fade him. I want to fade the shit out of Bruno, the Hulk Ferreira. So I've got a guy who I want to bet on. For better or for worse, doesn't matter how many times I've lost. I want to bet on Marvin Vettori for God knows what reason. And then I want to bet against this guy who I keep seeing just win with these flashy knockouts and subs. And I still, for whatever reason, want to fade him. And what do to me? They match him up and they give me a pick'em, Cody. They give me a pick'em line where, as our guy said, you can find value anywhere you want to. I'm like, this screams Marvin Vettori to me. I know he's fallen on tough times. I know he's been on a bit of a rough run, but like, is Bruno real? I feel like this guy is smoke and mirrors, and if you get him out of the first round, he's a lot less dangerous. Vettori is a guy who you can't finish. We've seen him get beaten up in 25-minute fights against the best in the world. He looked bad in his last fight against Brendan Allen, but you know what? Props to Brendan Allen. I sold that guy short. I never thought Brendan Allen was going to beat Reiner de Ridder. I put my money where my mouth was. That result was backwards as far as I'm concerned. I did not think he was going to look anywhere near that good. So I've got to give a little bit more credit to Brendan Allen. So now I'm thinking back on that fight like, well, did Marvin look that bad? Did he really? Because Brendan Allen's apparently pretty good, Cody.
No. FBI top 100 fixed fights list. That one's on there too. What the fuck was that, man? Like, he literally started pulling guard against Brendan Allen and flopping. Goddamn Reiner de Ridder. Apparently,
Yeah.
he's still having trouble walking upstairs a month later. Goddamn Renner to Ritter. No, listen, dude, I'm going to totally agree with all your points. I think Marvin Vettori is the clear side here. This is another guy that I would imagine the UFC's paying him a lot of money because they don't do him any favors. Like the fight with Jared Cannonier, he headlines little fight night event for them. He goes 5 rounds. Jared Cannonier hit him 241 significant times. Huge. He takes a full over a year off after that. Never competed in 2024. Now you're coming back in 2025. Been over a year off. Your last fight, lost. Took a lot of damage. Headlined a card. What does he come back to headline another card against Roman Dolidze? He hasn't fought in over a year. Why would he be in another 5-rounder? Why don't we just start him back up? They're not interested in doing that. It's kill or be killed. So he fights Roman. And even though he had already beat Roman, this is a version of him that's just got a lot of ring rust. In fact, you watch the fight back, it's not that different than the first time he fought Roman Dolidze. The difference is that Roman's now out hustling him. Vettori's not finding that second gear. Vettori's starting to, what changed? He's been off for a while. So now you're on a 2-fight losing streak. Now you've not won a fight since 2023, the first Roman Dolidze win. It's been over 2 years since you've won. You're on a little bit of a skid. They give him Brandon Allen? Like, bro, these are all top 5 guys of the division. Brandon Allen's on an absolute tear. He's definitely one of the top guys. And he gives him another competitive fight. So, yeah, he's capable of hanging with all the guys at the highest level. He's just not good enough to beat them. You know, he's very much a gatekeeper to the stars. If you beat Marvin Vettori, you're the man. If you lose to Marvin Vettori, it's no shame. You're still probably okay. You're just not like an elite top 10 guy of the world. But the real thing that comes down to it is his cement head and the fact that he's not smart, doesn't know how to tap, doesn't know how to get knocked out. And that durability is legendary. And you're talking Brendan Allen, you're talking Roman Dolidze, Jared Cannonier, Robert Whittaker, Izzy Adesanya twice, Mario Akhmedov. All the guys that have beaten him have been forced to take him into those deep waters and go to decision because he just refuses to get put away. That is the biggest weapon that he's going to have here against Bruno Ferreira, who, as Clint said, is smoke and mirrors. Bro, I could not agree more.
Round 3, Cody. It's finally my time.
Nah, Vettori never finishes anybody. When was the last time Vettori finished somebody in the same conversation? Carl Roberson. He choked out Carl Roberson 6 years ago. So no. Marvin Vettori beats guys by decision. But the decision's the name of the game. Bruno's not good. When you look at him, first and foremost, is that he's the smallest guy in the entire division. Stands 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. He's a welterweight in every sense of the word. And yet he keeps making it happen up a weight class because of his ability to catch a guy. Jackson McVeigh, that's not impressive. Armin Petrosian, to me, it is because I'm an Armin Petrosian guy. But he looks like shit until he gets a quick little takedown over a guy with 0 grappling and he gets the sub. He's also got a win over G-Rod, Gregor Rodriguez, who he's able to catch and knock out. So Rodriguez is probably, was a hell of a punch, man. But Rodriguez is outworking him and then just spins and takes him. Absolute nasty. He's going to lose the fight, but then boom, catches a guy, knocks him out. Nice. And I truly believe the Armin Petrosian fight, he's on his way to losing, but boom, quick little takedown, got the submission. That's not on the table against Marvin. If you're not going to just knock him out and get this thing over with or take him to the ground and sub him real quick, you really got to fight him for a full 15 minutes. And in that setting, he's got way more volume. I think he's a better striker. He plays way more of a pressure game. This is only a 3-round fight. So, yeah, he does tend to get off these slow starts. And I think that they're going to drill that into him. Let's get after this guy right off the hop. We really need a win. Pressure him. He's going to shoot takedowns. You're going to defend these takedowns. And then you're just going to start to outwork this guy. Bruno Ferreira comes from that Evolução Thai system in Brazil where it's just catch these guys being aggressive. Catch these guys, where they don't expect to. But Marvin's got way too much experience. He's seen everything. I honestly like these spots. You could give me a guy on a 10-fight losing streak. All 10 losses are in the UFC against top 15 talent. And then he gets cut, let's say, and he's fighting on LFA. And the LFA guy could be on a 10-fight winning streak. And he's never beaten a guy with a winning record. You see these type of fights. And the guy that's just, he's on a 10-fight winning streak. He's just naturally the favorite. Naturally, the money's coming in on him. Why? Because he's on a 10-fight winning streak. And the other guy, has lost 10 fights in a row. Nobody wants to bet on that guy. The difference is one guy's operating at a world-class level still. He's not just, he lost 10 fights in a row by first-round knockout. It's you're competing against the best guys in the world. You know what I can liken it to? I can liken it to Tony Ferguson. Holy shit, who wants to bet this guy? And then he fights Salt Poppy. He's a 3-1 underdog against Salt Poppy. Who's making these lines? Who's making these lines? But
people who watch Jake Paul.
Well, Jake Paul can actually box. I'm not a Jake Paul hater. I'm not. Yeah, he picks the right guys to fight. Yeah, he takes a lot of heat, but like he's not abysmal. Salt Poppy, oh well, yeah, he throws a punch or two. He's fighting a guy that he's not 3 weight classes higher than. I don't know. I'm just saying that you see a lot of this recency bias in UFC. You're only as good as your last fight. That last pay-per-view, sitting in a bar. First time I watched fights in a bar in a long time. And this guy, he's livid, dude. He's so mad. He says Islam Makhachev is ruining the sport. I don't even want to watch UFC anymore. Guys like that, and Islam Makhachev specifically, he's the most boring guy. And what I just watched tonight was he's so mad. And I says, listen, dude, he held down JDM for 25 minutes, but he choked out Dustin Poirier. Was that not badass? And then he knocked down and then puts away Charles Oliveira. Was that not badass? And the guys like Dan Hooker and Bobby Green and Hanato Moicano, all of whom couldn't get out of 3 minutes with him. Was that not all badass? But no, but then you hold the guy down one time for 25 minutes and you're the problem. And Chimaev, and he says the same thing. Him and Chimaev. But Chimaev's last fight sucked, but every single one before that was awesome. It was awesome. Well, you thought you didn't like his fight with Gilbert Burns? That fight was awesome too. I don't know. People will judge you on that last fight. And so for Bruno, his last fight was awesome. He subbed Jackson McVeigh like nothing. The one before that with Armin Petrosyan, he subs him too. Abus Magomedov, people rock with him a little bit. His other losses, Nursultan Ruzaboev, we're not going to fault him for those. These are good guys. Yeah, I think Marvin Vettori is just a cut above. If there are levels to this, if it means anything, Marvin should go out there and take care of business, and I expect him to.
Cody, you were supposed to tell me that I'm an idiot for going back to the well with Marvin Vettori. You were supposed to talk me off the ledge, and now I have to bet it. Now I already was wanting to, but I was hoping you would tell me how wrong I was, talk some sense into me. But with you agreeing with me, you forced my hand. I will be betting Marvin.
Yeah, I mean, and if you were like, he's my anchor bet this week, I'd be like, I don't know.
I'm not doing that.
But then the little devil would have popped up and been like, bro, he's got this in the fucking bag. What are you talking about? Let's roll the goddamn dice.
That the little devil is my worst enemy, man. It's Cody, as a dad, you've had to have seen The Emperor's New Groove, right?
Not as a dad. I watched the show myself. It was
I know, but so like
in the day,
dude,
yeah,
when the devil and the angel are arguing with Kronk, and he goes, well, look what I can do. And he's like, I don't see how that. And the angel goes, no. He's got a point. Like that's literally my problem. When the devil gives me something that I should not be able to hang my hat on, the angel in my brain is like, well, wait a minute. So yeah. No, I can't talk myself out of these crazy ideas once I get them. So you were supposed to do that. You didn't. Now I'm betting Marvin Vettori. So everyone just be forewarned. It's Cody's fault if it goes sideways.
You're going with this, baby. And if Jan Blachowicz loses too, then what the hell can I do?
Oh, God. Preview for a minute later. All right. Shout out my guy, Razor Sharp Picks in the chat. What's up, buddy? Hey, I was asking you guys for a winner on football later, but the truth is I don't need you guys to do it because Razor does it for me. I don't promote people. Razor has not sponsored my show or anything like that, you guys. He's the best damn gambler I've ever seen in my life. If you're ever going to pay somebody for a service gambling, Razor would be the guy that I point you to, and I say that in all seriousness. So please check him out. He's absolutely incredible. Next up, you guys, we got Faraz Ziam and Nazim Sadikov. Now, Cody, at the risk of being an old bald white guy on a podcast being accused of being racist, am I the only one that gets Nazim Sadikov mixed up with Muhammad Naimov a little bit? Like, those guys look so similar. Like, same brick of a build, same chunky beard, same square jaw. Like, they're always on the same damn card too. So like, it always messes with me. Man, I like this fight. This is a very interesting, like, find out who type of fight, because I've always said that Nazim Sadikov is what you get if Matt Frevola had durability. Like, he's got all the upside on the Frevola side. He's got good wrestling. He's got good grappling. He's tough. He's durable. He's got power. He's explosive. And then he can take a punch. He's 4-0-1 off Dana White's Contender Series. He's got straight punches. I like the way he cuts the cage off. He's always in there looking for war. So, yeah, he can run into some punches sometimes, but damn, he can take them when he does. And he's getting Faraz Ziam, 14-7, 28 years old. Unfortunately, his last fight got canceled, so this is the one he's getting filled in here with. He's been on a hell of a tear, man. 5-fight win streak, unless I'm mistaken here. The problem is he's coming off of one of those, call Cash Patel fights. He's coming off of Paintgate against Mike Davis. Absolutely everybody ready to go to war with Mike Beast Boy Davis. I had a sub prop in my pocket. And then 3 minutes in, all of a sudden, Mike Davis is sprawled out on the mat like he just got finished eating his second plate of Thanksgiving dinner. He's got no gas, can't keep going, and Faraz Ziam works his way to a decision. In hindsight, seems like one of the most fraudulent things we've ever seen. And I'm like, okay, so is Faraz Ziam the goods? Or did he get a weird, sick Mike Davis and was able to take advantage of and get it out of there? Because outside of the round 3 knee to Matt Frevola, this guy's a decision machine. He doesn't finish anybody. It keeps the reins, keeps the distance, footwork on the outside, jabs you up to death. I've got a feeling Nazim is coming in here looking for blood, trying to avenge his teammate, and he's going to really bring the fight to Faraz Ziam. And I don't know if Faraz Ziam is capable of winning a barn burner type of fight here, man. We're close to a pick'em. Faraz is the slight favorite. Nazim's like plus 115 as the underdog. I'm almost tempted to go with Nazim, man. I really like Nazim Sadikov. I really do. Faraz Ziam is the guy who knows how to win the fight. He's going to fight more technical. But if you're rooting for blood, you got to go the other way. Man, it's honestly a really tough fight to call, Cody. I kind of lean towards Nazim Sadikov on this one, but I can clearly see a Faraz Ziam decision as well. So tough call, man. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Faraz Ziam myself. But yeah, it's a good fight, competitive fight. I like what both guys bring to the table. I think that they're both, going to be tenured guys within the roster because they're capable of beating a lot of the guys for sure. Sadikov, I don't have any gripe with them, but what my thing is that this dude is by far the luckiest guy in the UFC. He just finds ways, man. This is his run, okay? The fight with Evan Elder, he got knocked down, right? He's down 2 rounds. He's losing this fight. In fact, he needs a finish or he's done. And then in the 3rd round, he pops Elder and a cut opens up. They stop to look at the cut and they wave the fight off. He should have lost his UFC debut, 100%. And they wave the fight off due to a cut and he wins. His next fight with Terrance McKinney, for the first and only time in his career, just says, you know what? I'm going to pace myself and see what happens. Takes him down, easily controls him and wins the 1st round. The 2nd round, Terrance McKinney's absolutely gassed out because he doesn't go to 2nd rounds. And he wins that one too. So at this point, he's lost all the rounds, essentially, that he's had in the UFC. Or he's lost, the first 2 rounds against Elder and he gets a cut stoppage. Loses the 1st against McKinney, gets the 2nd round finish when he's tired. Vyacheslav Borshev. Borshev wins 2 of the 3 rounds. Sadikov had a 10-8 round too because of the knockdown. So it's another fight where he got outstruck 143-91. By the end of the 3rd round, it clearly Borshev won the fight. If this is pride, if this is one championship, unless it's one championship Muay Thai because they got this stupid-ass knockdown rule. All I'm saying is if you thought who won the fight, Borshev won the fight, but there was a round 2, 10-8, which gets him a draw. So he could have lost to Elder, should have lost to Elder. McKinney, very weird game plan, still lost the 1st round to him. Borshev lost 2 of the 3 rounds, but got bailed out by a 10-8. Ishmael Bonfim is beating his ass. The first 4 minutes and 24 minutes of 30 seconds of that round are all Bonfim. The last 30 seconds, Sadikov lets it go. And listen, the guy can crack. I'm not saying he's just pure luck all the time, but he cracks him with a head kick. And then Bonfim starts complaining about his eye. And then they go to the corner. The round ends. He goes to his corner, and then he tells the ref for whatever reason. He tells the doctor, I can't see. And then they just wave the thing off. He's getting outstruck 26-13, and they wave the thing off. And then his fight with Nicholas Mata, he got dropped in the 1st round by Nicholas Mata. Comes back in the 2nd. He's not at any point had a clean win. He's not at any point dominated a fight. He's generally losing, and then some weird thing will happen, or I'm landing a head kick and causing the guy to not see. It's not weird. It's not an accident. It's just
he's got plot armor, Cody.
it's like he's just losing.
He's the main character.
He keeps losing until just something happens in his favor. Like, bro, I admire the shit out of it. I want to partner with this guy. Let's buy lotto tickets. Let's buy property. Whatever it's the Midas touch. Every touch is just turns to gold. But Faraz, man, I've been a real fan of his for a long time. He's a dividends kid. The kid started in the UFC with nothing other than some Muay Thai fights and young, and he's training out of MMA Fight Factory Paris. What are you going to do? But similar to Nasruddin Imavov, who couldn't grapple once upon a time, was just a striker, this kid's using his length really well. Proportionally, he's learned how to wrestle. Cyril Gane has learned how to wrestle. Francis Ngannou had learned how to wrestle. Taylor Lapalus, one of my favorite. Why do they keep cutting him? God damn, he's good. His takedown defense is
because he's boring.
Because of the decisions. I know, but he's good.
We keep Faraz on for God knows what reason. He's got one highlight. We'll keep him around.
You got to satisfy that French market. But I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. What I will say is that his fight with Mikkel Figlak, he looked good. Figlak's a bum. Against Jai Herbert, he looked okay, which is a savvy veteran. Claudio Puelles, it's one of those classic Claudio Puelles, diving for legs. But yeah, like you said, the Matt Frivola fight, I think that was a good one for him because he took down Matt Frivola 4 times. So Matt Frivola trains with Merab Dvalishvili and Aljamain Sterling. He's a Ray Longo guy. He's a BJJ black belt. He's very big for 155 pounds, taking on this French Muay Thai kid. And the French Muay Thai kid soundly out-grappled him and beat him up and then knocked him out. And then paint gate, 100% paint gate. But he also goes out there and, paint or not, he outworks and he outgrapples Mike Davis, which is impressive enough. But it's a one-lung Mike Davis. FBI, what the hell was up with that one? But don't investigate that one in particular because I had Faraz. And at the time, I was like, dude, I'm the smartest guy ever. Like, I'm just so smart. And then afterwards, I was like, normally I got the guy that was in the painted up locker room. So I got his lucky. I just got lucky that one time. How does he match against Nazim Sadikov? Honestly, Sadikov's not a big wrestler. He will take you down a couple times, but he's not completed, outside of the Borshev fight, he's not scored more than 4 takedowns in a fight. His control time's not world class. He's more of, like you said, if you're looking for action, you want to finish, you're cheering for this guy because he'll be getting outworked, but he'll land the big shot. In terms of him out wrestling and out grappling Faraz, although possible, Faraz really leaps and bounds improved his grappling. And I think that it'll be good enough to either A, keep the fight standing, or B, he does get taken down defensively, mind your P's and Q's, get back up, and then get back to striking. Striking, I'm not saying he's got some giant advantage over him, but he does have the output. And I think that'll be the key here. Use the length, use the front kick, keep this guy at bay, use those jabs, work them. As the fight starts to progress, just like Borshev did, take over. The difference is don't give up the 10-8 round 2 where you get knocked down and he almost puts you away. And that's a great thing with Faraz. Really good chin on this kid. Yeah. He didn't want a hell of a punch. So if Sadikov, a guy that's based on the moments, I don't want to compare him directly to, we're just talking about the Hulk Ferreira, that last fight with Bruno. But Bruno's very much, he capitalizes on the one big moment, taking guy in Vittori that's just very durable. That's how I kind of feel against Nazim Sadikov. He's losing a vast majority of these fights, and then he lands the big moment. Those big moments are few and far between against a guy like Faraz, who's technically sound and durable. So, yeah, I got the tall Frenchman to get this thing, done probably on the scorecards for being real. But yeah, Faraz by decision. I'm expecting a close fight. That's just the way I'm going to lean this one.
Okay, that all makes sense, Cody. That all makes sense. The only thing that I can't shake, though, Nazim Sadikov is the main character. I can't prove it yet. He shouldn't be winning these fights, but he does. Yeah, he's just the main character, okay? I don't know how. I don't know why. I'm sticking with him. All right, guys. Real quick, let's shout out the sponsors. Of course, Spectation Sports. UFC is not the only show in town. Spectation's got events running all the way up through the holiday. And in fact, they actually return sooner than the UFC does. So if you're going to be itching for that MMA action, get signed up. Promo code DIEHARD will get you 20% off when you sign up for your subscription. Of course, we're talking about cloudbet.com next to you guys. Make sure you get signed up because we've got PFL coming up. We've got UFC 323, some of the best lines in the business. Promo code DIEHARD MMA when you get signed up to $2,500. And of course, the cash vault at the end of your first month with cloudbet.com. Check it out. We got some more fights to break down, everybody, so let's get through these. I am joined by Bookie Beatdowns, Cody Saftik. Make sure you're sharing some love with him. I put the link to the YouTube channel in the description below on this video, so make sure you get over there and get signed up. Show him and our boy Paul some love as well. Next up, we've got Maycee Barber returning against Karine Killer Silva. I love this fight, Cody. I love this fight. So I have found my way to becoming somehow a Maycee Barber acolyte over the last couple of years. She was somebody who was on my fade list, okay? You go all the way back to the robbery split decision over Miranda Maverick, and I bet on her that night. I got the greasy split decision, and I
was on the other side. I was so mad, so mad.
Cody,
so
I was
mad.
like, I was like, we got to pump the brakes here, kid. It's like, that was nasty. I got away with one. I need to be very, very careful here. And so I had been kind of looking at opportunities to get on the other side of her. But then I had just that brief, shiny moment. The light bulb comes on. The angels sing. The light's coming down. I got her by knockout against Amanda Ribas. And that turned it all around. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm back on the train. We're forever on the Maycee Barber train. But what's happened since then has me very, very baffled. She's been fighting health issues for the last couple of years. She withdrew from back-to-back fights. People are saying she ducked Aaron Blanchfield, but she blew weight so badly she didn't get medically cleared to make that fight. She looked awful on the scales. She really looked like she killed herself, man. It looked like the Julie Stoliarenko like fainting situation we had a couple years ago. Yeah. She looked bad. And you look at her social media and stuff, and so she's always been like an America first gun-toting right-wing Christian chick, right? But now she's got like these weird little crystal things that are supposed to like balance out your like inner energies. And I'm like, you can't be both, okay? Like, let's just set the record straight. You can't be a Christian and a crystal chick. Like, that just doesn't work. So I don't know what's going on with her mentally speaking. I don't know where she's at. She's tough. I like how mean she is. I like how hard she hits. I like that she's really tough to take down. She's a good wrestler. Everything about Maycee Barber and the whole package I enjoy, but I don't know where her head's at, and I don't know where she is at physically right now, and that's the problem. Killer Karine Silva, 32 years old. This chick is a finisher of the highest caliber, man. KO, sub, doesn't matter. If she gets on your back, she's hunting your neck. It's like that. She goes so fast. She just went a full 15 Barboza and won a decision there. It was a little closer than you would have liked it to be, but Taione Barboza is another tough, muscly Brazilian chick that you really can't finish. It's hard to get her in anything. And they went to war in that fight. And in the third round, Karine Silva was sinking in a high elbow guillotine for a minute there. I mean, against lesser competition, she probably would have gotten yet another finish there. You know, you go back to like the Ketlin Souza, Myra Moreau's, like, this girl can sub you quick and easy on the mat. She's got heat in her hands and in her feet. Like, if Maycee Barber is compromised, this is a bad fight, man, because there's a lot of ways you can lose to Karine Silva. And now that we're not as worried as we were before, potentially, about like the gas tank and the cardio, since she's been to a couple of decisions now, I kind of want to look her way pre-flop. The big thing, need to see the weigh-ins. Need to make sure Maycee's healthy. I want to listen to interviews. I want to hear her talk about the last couple of months of her life, because if I get any hint of weakness whatsoever, I'm jumping in on Karine Silva. Maycee Barber is a minus 180 favorite, plus 150 to come back on Karine Silva. And at this point in the week, it's dog or pass for me. But I need to gather some more information. This is a Friday show type of bet, man. I need to do some sleuthing here and figure a couple things out before I make a move on this fight.
Yeah, honestly, it's a tough one. I had this theory that I've been working with, right? Where it's like, you could be good, you definitely be good, but you can't be great with a set of fakies. You know, where's Valentina Shevchenko's fakies? Where's Yan Zhonan's fakies? Where are Zhang Weilei's fakies? Where are Amanda Nunes's fakies?
Even Joanna waited till she retired.
Well, you know what? I think she fought a fight or two like right near the end, and she didn't look good. And Miesha Tate got the fakies, and then her career also had gone downhill. And then Mackenzie Dern wins a title the other day with a wicked good set of fakies. And so now I'm like, oh man, that's right. Verna should have won the no fakies war, because 100% Verna does not have fakies. I can tell you that. Yeah. So the thing with Maycee Barber is everything you're saying. It's the narrative, you know. This girl looks like she's talented, and she used to have like a real big mouth on her. I'm going to be the youngest champion in UFC history. I will win a title younger than John Jones. And then the hype train gets behind her, and she's like a 6-1 favorite, and she lost to Roxanne Modafferi.
My girl, Roxy.
I know. I think Paul cashed on Roxanne that night. And it was like,
I do.
Maycee
It
Barber
feels
blew
like
her
4
knee
months.
out, right? So it was like you got a little bit of help, but Roxanne kicked her ass, really. Won all 3 rounds, like, handedly. And since
That's
then,
awesome.
that's the thing with Maycee, is that she's just been a real hasn't really achieved. The fight after that, she loses to Grasso. Well, that's fine. Alexa Grasso went on to win a title. The fight after that, she had robbed Miranda Maverick. She had been a 3-fight losing streak. Since then, she's righted the ship, but Montana De La Rosa's cut from the organization. Jessica Ai's cut from the organization. Not even cut. Montana De La Rosa's retired. Jessica Ai's retired. Andrea Lee's retired. Amanda Hebus, I mean, after that last fight with Hebus, I think it's entirely possible. She got a screw plate in her face now. It got dislodged. Like, it could be the end for her, too. And then Caitlin Chikagian, she's Caitlin Sermarin now. She's married. She got kids. It's over for her, too. So Maycee was able to capitalize, I think, on the older girls of the division. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing to suggest that she's world champion or wrestling. I mean, again, it's good sometimes, 4 takedowns against Chikagian, bad other times. She got taken down 5 times by Andrea Lee. She got out wrestled by Andrea Lee. Her takedown defense overall is at 53%. Her striking, I mean, yeah, she got nasty elbows. That Amanda Hebus fight, she lost the first round, got taken down. Second round, just elbows over the top. She's big for the weight class, but yeah, just health issues and inconsistency. And I think because she's like low key, pretty hot, it's like it's easy to get behind her and say, well, you'd want to get behind her maybe, but you'd say, you know what? I got faith that she's young and she's a good prospect and she'll come back and she'll make some improvements. And it's kind of the same letdown time and time again. And going into that last fight against Erin Blanchfield, this is a tough fight, and Blanchfield's a top contender, and yet she kind of comes in, and I think she was out of shape leading into the weight cut, and now you're having bad nerves backstage, and then they stretcher her out, and she says, I don't know what the medical issue was, and now she's into crystal therapy, and she's harnessing the energy of the crystals. But I'll tell you what, I had to sit down and look myself in the mirror, and I said, you know what? There's one other fighter that also does crystal therapy and harnesses the power of the crystals, and you know who that fighter is? Do you know who that is? Big advocate for crystal
These 2 are very similar individuals.
Jared Cannonier, right? So I thought to myself, realistically, okay, who wins in a fight? Jared Cannonier or Karine Silva? Fucking Jared Cannonier all day long. So that's how I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to Maycee Barber channels in her inner and just goes out there and lands some hands, man. The thing with Karine, Lex, I know it's all joke, and I will be honest with you. Karine, for her first 4 or 5 fights, yeah, very opportunistic with the back take, fighting nerds, even though the women's team is not particularly good over there. But yeah, just excellent BJJ and good grappling, and she's got a nasty Darce. And the division lacks wrestling. So if you can take opponents down and sub them, you're already going to be a top 10 fighter right off the hop. It's the last 2 fights back against Vivian Arroyo. She's not strong enough to take down Vivian, so now she's got to stand. She gives up a couple takedowns, drops the decision. Dion Barboza, now she already lost previously once to Dion Barboza on the regional scene, so maybe Dion was in her head. But I bet Karine, and I thought I won, to be honest with you. But when I went on the internet, boy, they were pissed. It's like everybody thought Barboza had won, and when you look at it, Barboza took her down 3 times to 1 and outstruck her 31-26. She landed the more significant strikes. She landed the more damaging blows. She took her down. She controlled her. But you grab my neck for a second. You grab something that for a few seconds, I'm not getting choked. How can you ascertain how dangerous a choke is unless they tap? It's difficult to say. Ooh, it looks tight, but they might be thinking, I'm just going to wait this out for 20 seconds and I'm good to go.
Anti-grappler propaganda, Cody. Get out of here.
Well, I just think with Karine struggled to take down Vivian Arroyo and Dion Barboza. Why? Because they're big and strong. Well, Maycee is big and strong. Her takedown defense is not that good, but she's got decent size for the weight class, and she is physically strong. And then okay, well, let's say you can't take her down. What is the most Karine has ever landed in a UFC fight? 58, significant. And she lost that fight. It's her only loss. Outside of that, she's landed 26. She's landed 27. Those are fights that have gone to decision. With Maycee, again, you've seen Maycee turn it on a few times where it's like she's getting taken down and then she'll get back up and she'll just start lands in combination, comes forward. Just kind of beat her to it, right? I know size-wise, it's only 5'5" versus, they're both the same size. They both, got a comparable reach. In fact, I think Karine's got a 2-inch reach advantage, but it just feel like Barber's a little more physically strong. It all comes down to this health thing. How unhealthy are you? And now you fought in one. Oh, she did fight once earlier, but You've not competed super active. You're now getting older. This dream of becoming the youngest UFC champion, well, it's already passed. You're now 28. Do you need money? Have you just been training twice a day the last 15 years of your life, preparing for this world championship? Do you have a plan B? Do you have investments? You got some savings? You got a 401k? Or do you need to come back and take a fight? And again, the UFC, they're not, hey, come back and we'll give you some girl that we just signed up the Contender Series. And you can get a quick little win, and then we'll see how you feel, and we'll ease you back into it. They give you someone like Killer Carini, who's definitely not a walkover. So I don't know why I'm taking the coward's way out and just taking Barber. I think if you're smart, you take Carini, but apparently I'm just not smart enough. My gut's telling me do not do it. And for some reason, I got Maycee Barber. I can't figure it out, but here we are. I've got Maycee Barber.
Hey, Barber's the main character too, Cody. She wins every split decision ever. So if this fight is close, she'll get the nod. All right, that's
it's
enough.
Vanessa Demopoulos syndrome, where you're like, I think I might have a chance. Yeah, I'll give her the round, and I'll be in her good grace. We'll see what happens at the after party.
I'll see. Vanessa Demopoulos doing some favors to get those decisions. Maycee, they just like her. So, man, this company she's working with, Aries Tech or something like that. Like, they're supposed to like channel or fix like the harmful vibrations in your body. And Aries, I'm just saying, sponsor the show. I'll wear the little dinghy. And if I go on a heater, you can claim it fixes gambling problems. So just a pitch, just a thought. Hit me up.
It comes down to confidence. So imagine you were like, and I'm not saying anything about religion. Please, I hope nobody takes this the wrong way, but just the best thing about religion, and there's a lot of bad things about religion, the best thing about it is that it'll take someone out of the dumps, give people in full of despair, and it gives them hope. And once you get hope and you start believing that doesn't matter what God you believe in, everyone's entitled to whoever they believe in, that guy, once you start to believe in that guy, starts to give you confidence. Like, you know what? I think I can do this. Someone's looking out for me. I'm getting confidence. She's clearly looking for something. You pick up these crystals and you think, holy shit, man, I could kill somebody. It's like, okay, let's roll with this. This is great. If you believe it, then it's real, man. Who cares? Your brain is the most powerful thing you got. So, I interviewed a guy, Dave Jansen. He was a WEC fighter, Bellator fighter. He used to wear these like red glasses, green glasses. He was big in color therapy. Color therapy gets him in the zone. He's a beekeeper by day, color therapy. And then, he was out of Portland, Oregon. He was a hell of a wrestler. Dave the Fugitive Jansen. Hardcore fans will remember him. Nobody else will. Badass. Anyways, I interviewed him one time. And like, tell me about the color therapy and like, what the doctor, where do you get the glasses? What doctor prescribes this? Where can you? And he was like, oh, I don't know. I just found these glasses one day and they're red and I put them on and I was like, whoa, you see the whole world in red. And so I went and I bought a green pair. Like, whoa. And he's obviously a kook, but he believed it, bro. He believed it. And then when this guy fought, he was such a junkyard dog. He believed it. It did something for him, and it did. And fans of the second Space Jam movie is the biggest piece of shit you've ever seen in your life. But the original Space Jam movie, there's nothing in the water. The water is just water.
It's Mike's secret stuff.
But they believe it's Mike's special water. And then that belief, it gives you a placebo effect. And that's all you need, man. And so that's what the crystals are going to do for Maycee Barber. And I'm going to win this fight by sheer will and determination. Throw it out in the universe, baby.
I like it. And just for the record, I believe in Jared Cannonier crystals. Let's see if Maycee can make us a believer, okay? Jared's done some crazy shit. He's turning me around. We're in. Let's see if Maycee can do the same. All right, guys.
Killer Gorilla 2.0.
Let's go. Next. Hope she's not hairy like Killer Gorilla, though, man. Terrance McKinney takes on Christian the Problem Duncan. And this is going to be just a absolute barn burner of a fight as long as it lasts, man. I'll be honest. I got Christian Duncan wrong, Cody. When he fought on Dana White's Contender Series, I thought he was kind of a bum. I thought he was kind of a fraud, and he gets rocked so bad right out the gates in that fight. He's bent over, he's folded, it's done, and then he flips a switch and murders the guy that hurt him. And I was like, lucky shot. He's never going to make it in the UFC. I'm going to fade this guy. It's going to be easy money. And since then, he moved out to ATT. He found some defense. He leveled his game up. He got that good old ATT Gilly under his belt, and he's rattled off a bunch of wins, man. I'm like, what the hell happened? This guy turned into a prospect somehow. So Chris Duncan, okay, now he's coming off beating up Mateusz Rebecki in his last fight. He fraud checked Jordan Vucinic, one of the hottest Cage Warriors prospects we've ever seen. He took out Bolaji Hoki in the first round. It's like, all right. So I had this guy a little bit wrong, apparently. Terrance McKinney, we all know exactly what this guy is. The UFC needs a couple of good soldiers. This guy is willing to go out there and be on highlight reels or get a 50K bonus. There is no in between. It's one or the other. You're either going to get a massive win where you can show off how you knocked out Terrance McKinney, or he's getting paid extra by the UFC. He's still never seen the judges' scorecards. The kid can wrestle. He's very slick and savvy with his submissions. Frankly, I'm a little disappointed in myself for not getting on the sub prop against Slava in that last fight. I called it. I didn't get to the window with it. And that's the worst feeling in the world in gambling, when you see it and then you don't actually bet it. So disappointed in myself. But he's 2-2 in his last 4. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a grappling match. He's actually 3-1 in his last 4. So even better. Terrance turning things around here. This is going to be a 1-round fight, man. Either Chris Duncan's going to catch Terrance McKinney and put him out, or he's not. And that's just kind of how Terrance McKinney fights goes. The one thing I'll say, McKinney puts so much effort into that first round. You get him to round 2, and then you've got a very real chance of looking like a 10-1 favorite, because he just folds in round 2. I don't know that it's so much a heart thing. I feel like it's almost like a post-prime Conor McGregor cardio thing. You know, he just fell off a cliff. The second he got tired, the confidence is just wind out of the sails. Gone, poof, dust. It's over. I feel like Terrance kind of does that to some extent too. Major adrenaline dump, you know? So I will lean towards Chris Duncan being the side here, but this is one of those coins I don't necessarily need to flip, Cody. One of these guys is going to die about 60 seconds into this fight. I don't know that I want to pick one, because we're 50-50 here.
Yeah, well, I do agree, but I think if Terrance McKinney wins, it'll be done within a minute or two. I think if Duncan wins, it's just like you said, it'll be in the second round. Like, he'll get taken down in the first. If he gives up his back and he gets flattened out, he'll get punched out. If he gives up his back and he gets caught in a ring and get choked, he'll get choked out. If he does kind of stays out of harm's way, even though he gets taken down, but he can last to the second round, I think that's where he absolutely takes down. I'm not going to lie. Chris Duncan, same thing. I do not think this guy is good at all. When I watch him on the Contender Series, sure, he doesn't look good. In either of them, first one he got TKO'd by Vyacheslav Borishev, got beat up, didn't look good. The second one against Charlie Campbell, he won, but he's getting beat up until then. Charlie Campbell's all over the guy. But since then, yeah, man, I mean, he's added skills to his game, and outside of the Manuel Torres fight, I mean, he's looked good, can wrestle a little bit. And then he's picking up these wins. But, you know, again, and I hate to shit on guys that are on 3, 4, 5 fight winning streaks. And I've done it to a couple guys already on this card. But you point out what's going wrong in these fights. Like, Bolaji Oki is tripling him up in the significant strikes. He's outstriking him 28-10. But yet he keeps shooting into these guillotine chokes. Why are you even needing to take him down? Head right in, gets caught. Jordan Vucinic lost the first round. He looked awful. The second round, he starts to come on. All of a sudden, Duncan's looking tired. What does Vucinic do? A striker. What does Vucinic do? He shoots his head right into the same guillotine choke. What are these guys doing? Mateusz Rebecki, that was a nice fight by Duncan. But again, by the numbers, Mateusz Rebecki outstruck him 114-92 and scored the only 2 takedowns of the fight. Like, Duncan's super average, man. He can win, but I don't really think he's an elite striker. I don't think he's an elite wrestler. I don't think his cardio is all that good. His durability is not all that good. You've seen him get knocked out. You've seen him get choked out. Training with Dustin Poirier and being Dustin Poirier's lead training partner for a number of camps, that obviously helped. But Dustin Poirier's retired now. So you're getting a little bit older. You're getting world-class rounds in. I'm not trying to shit on the guy. I'm not. Like, he's overachieved. He's done an excellent job. He's won fights in the UFC. He's a dog. Guy's an absolute dog. And no doubt he's made a lot of improvements. And then with McKinney, he's just a flash in the pan. He finishes you, he's got to finish you really, really fast. So it's a coin flip fight. It's a coin flip fight, but Duncan's a lot more well-rounded in the sense that here's a guy that is not, his whole win condition is not predicated on getting this thing done in 2 minutes. It's not predicated on, I got to just buzzsaw through this guy as quick as humanly possible. If plan A doesn't work out, there is a plan B and there is a plan C. And I think that's where Duncan's going to shine here. If he has to strike, if he has to wrestle, if he has to go a few rounds, He should be able to do all that. Is it possible he gets caught? Yeah, absolutely. But McKinney's in the same boat. McKinney, when he wins, he wins. Sure, he looks great. But when he loses, Sean Woodson flying knee, and he's out. Drew Dober, he this close to killing Drew Dober. And then Drew gets back up and stiffs him right back. It's like, oh, man. Bomb Theme stiffs him with the flying knee. But it's more so this Ribovic's fight. I like Ribovic's. The guy lands 200 significant strikes per fight. Here's the problem. Ribovic's has had 6 fights in the UFC, and 5 of them have gone to decision. And he knocked down McKinney in 37 seconds, just boots him lopside the head. McKinney's chin's not good. His submission defense is not good. His cardio's not good. But god damn, this guy's one hell of a glass cannon. He will put it on you. And, then he'll shatter. If the job hasn't been done after 1 or 2 shots, this thing's just going to shatter to bits. So I'm going to think Duncan's training at an American top team where they've got a good group of guys that can go hard, and they've been training and they've been getting ready for facing absolute hell for 4 minutes. And then after that, not going to feel so bad. So for me, it's a Duncan. But yeah, check out the live betting market. You might be able to get a better price when he gets beat up in the first. And if for whatever reason that McKinney is going to win, which is of course on the table, you don't even have to worry about it. McKinney's just going to win in the first round. Great. I didn't have to put that bet down. McKinney wins the first round, but this thing makes it to his second. Ooh, I'm very interested in Duncan now. And of course, if you just watch a guy get his ass kicked and you just watch it, even if it's, it's a beating, but you survive, it's a bad look. You'll get good plus money. The guy's down around and he just got his ass kicked. Well, he'll probably just get taken down and get his ass kicked again. Nah. McKinney's second round, not the same guy. So that's what I'm banking on here. And McKinney's tried to correct the cardio. He's tried to pace himself. But by his own account, he's like, if I try to do anything other than guns a-blazing as fast as I can, if I try to do anything other than that, I don't do well. I got to keep what's true and what gets success. And yes, this is what gets success. Last thing I will say is McKinney helped one of the UFC executives bury a body very clearly. He knows where bodies are hidden. He knows secrets of the Zuffa trade, because who else on the roster would get Damir Hadzovic, Brendan Marat, Mike Breeden, Eric Gonzalez? Dog, where do you even find these guys for Terrance to beat up? They've given him like the best fights to look good in, and he has looked good. Well, Duncan's not the easiest guy to look good against, so I got Chris Duncan here. I know I'm not historically been the biggest Duncan supporter. Not supporter, I've not bet money on him. I'm giving him a chance here, and if he lets me down, god damn, he's back to being dead to me. But yeah, I will take Duncan for the win.
I'm kind of with you there, man. I think I'm in the same boat here. Might have to ride with Duncan. And shout out JB, our guy Jewish Better in the chat. He said on the show with James, Duncan said, and that's Duncan, by the way. James and Duncan are actually pretty tight. He says he's been training with Moicano and Dawson, starting rounds with them on his back. So he is fully prepared for the grappling assault here coming from Terrance McKinney. We might have to roll with Chris Duncan this week. And I do apologize. I always mix up CLD. I always say Christian. There's 2 of them. It's Chris Duncan this time around. Shout out my guy Barry, donation for Scotland. Let's go. Another Scott in the chat. That's what's up. And just closing this one out, man. Terrance McKinney has by far the best job in the world. Because seriously, if I got 50K every time I finished inside 2 minutes, it'd be a good life. All right, guys. Grant Dawson.
Yeah, dude. Diana Belbita used to go down and spend some time in Las Vegas with him, and she says he's a 2-minute man outside the cage as well. So this is who he is. You can't change who you are, and this is very much who he is.
Oh, shade thrown on the chat.
Not shade thrown. I feel bad because she's now married to my buddy Cameron Van Camp. So I wish them all the best. But I'm just telling you, these are the stories that I've been told through the the annals of history.
Gotta love it. Grant Dawson takes on El Loco Manuel Torres in this next fight here. And Cody, Grant Dawson is another one of these guys that I'm just like, I don't believe it, man. He's so freaking good. He's such a good wrestler. I used to say he's got cardio problems, and I kept trying to fade him in like the 3rd round, and then he moved out to American Top Team and he got on their good vitamins, and that stopped happening. He started tapping people in round 3 instead of getting, close to death in round 3. He knocks out Jared Gordon, or chokes out Gordon and Mark Madsen back to back in round 3. It's like, fuck, man. So he seemed to have patched the problem that I was seeing on the tape, and he kind of got away a little bit. But you go back there, there's just some really ugly looks, man.
But
The Ricky Glenn draw.
I know, but keep in mind, Clint, that was the entire period of his career that he was with James Krause.
That's fair.
So one, was James telling him to do something? No, probably not. But keep this in mind, that it'd be like, all right, we got a fight coming up against Ricky Glenn. All right, we're going to last hard training session at the gym. Everyone's at the gym. And then it'd be like, did you just recently paint this gym or something, James? It's like, yeah, well, we got some new coats of paint on it. And then all of a sudden in the fight, it's like, can't breathe. And Mike Davis is like, that's what I'm saying, man. And James Krause may have stiffed him on purpose, because since he's left James Krause and gone to ATT, yeah, you're right, dude. He looks really good.
But what about the King Green fight? What about getting nuked by Bobby fucking in round 1, Cody?
Yeah, with the jab as a big favorite. Could have been a fix. But since then, he's been really good.
It's every 3 or 4 fights or so, this guy gives me flashes of fraud, man. And I can't get it out of my head. Manuel Torres, he's 30 years old. He's in his prime. He's D1 all-team violence, coming off of flatlining Drew Dober. He's basically a Mexican Terrance McKinney. Like, this guy comes in with the same game plan. We're just going to go to war early. People sleep a little bit on his submission upside. He's actually got a really nasty submission game on him. The club and sub is always live, so be careful. I've seen people have their nights ruined because he submitted somebody instead of knocking them out. So if you're going to bet this guy, do inside the distance. But man, it's like, this is the kind of guy that I'm like, if Bobby Green is one-punching you, Manuel Torres can one-punch you. And I know Grant Dawson can take the back and he can ride out minutes and he's got good cardio and he can wrestle his ass off. But shit, man, like, if you get caught in a sub by Manuel Torres, I think you're going to sleep. Like, this guy's got such a squeeze on him. I like Manuel Torres a lot. I feel like this is maybe a violent spot, because if Torres doesn't get Grant probably gets Torres. I would be more excited about betting violence than picking a side here on this one, because if there was ever, like, you pick the one spot on the board where you're like, yeah, this guy's going to let everybody down, this is the parlay buster this week. For some reason, I can't help it, but I feel like Grant Dawson's the guy this week.
Yeah, I get it. He's got a perception that he's chinny, and Bobby Green stiffed him with a jab. It's all like bad stuff. And now you're taking on a guy, Manuel Torres, that, yeah, dude, this guy's violent. He's extremely opportunistic. He can choke you out. He can get the win with a knockout. He's got nasty elbows. He's got a rangy game, good right hand on him, just a power puncher. Maybe not going to be a good time. Yeah, maybe he lands on it. But Grant Dawson's had, I think, 13 fights in the UFC, or maybe he's had 14 fights in the UFC. Only one guy. He's taken down 13 of his 14 opponents. Only one guy he did not take down. It was Bobby Green. Punched him up before it started. Everybody else gets taken down. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Everybody else doesn't even punch him in the face because they get taken down. And that's it. And so it's like, okay, well, he's a one-trick pony with his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu. And everyone on American Top Team says how good his grappling is. But here's the real facts, okay? I took down Nadner Amani. People don't remember Nadner Amani, but he was clearly on steroids, and he kicked the shit out of Paddy Pimblett in Cage Warriors. He was good, man. Took him down twice. His fight with Jared Gordon, he took him down 7 times. Mark Madsen, he wrestled at the Olympics. Grant Dawson took him down twice. Damir Ishmagulov, the one guy in the division that nobody wanted to fight, he took him down 3 times. Cleanly outgrappled him. Just so like he's a black belt. Rafa Garcia's not good. Diego Ferrer is the 3rd degree BJJ black belt. He took him down 6 times. All of these guys, he just takes you down and just rides the position out. Whereas he did get tired a little bit, maybe, a couple fights back. You'd have to go back to the Ricky Glenn fight. And that fight's 5 years ago. He's made a lot of improvements, training at a high level. He needs that signature victory. He needs, to finish a couple of these fights, add to the highlight reel, and jump into contention. And Manuel Torres is not a ranked contender, so I think this is a good spot for him to go out there and look good. Manuel Torres, meanwhile, when he wins in huge, spectacular fashion. But there's something that I think you can expose on this guy, which is maybe take him down, control him, don't allow him to get off these big power shots. And then like Ignacio Bahamondes, Ignacio's a huge guy. He was able to just hurt him with power shots. But to me, it's like, this guy's not super durable. He's not cast iron Mexican durability will drag you out for 15 minutes. He's got a ton of power. And if he hits you, it's not going to be good. If you can kind of take him down, neutralize him, drag him out, slow him down a little bit, I think there's a path to victory here for Grant Dawson. I will admit, when I saw the money line, I was like, oh, this is the kind of spot I lose a lot of money this week. Because in my mind, the money line on Grant Dawson's very fair. Like he's somebody you got Emmanuel Torres that's 4-1 in the UFC, right? Losing to Ignacio Bahamondes 2 fight back. You got a Grant Dawson, meanwhile, he's 11-1 in the UFC. Has some quality victories, has mixed it up with some decent guys, and beyond that, not that like ranking means anything, but like he's the number 16th ranked guy in the division. He's just fringe on the actually being ranked. I think he's quality. I think he's possibly, good enough to get there. Torres, meanwhile, he fights generally once a year, and I don't know. I know I'm just talking myself in circles here. I just honestly feel like Grant Dawson's going to take him down and control him. And just the same thing as people told me Sean O'Malley's going to knock out Merab Dvalishvili in that rematch. And a lot of people told me that JDM is just way too big for Islam Makhachev and he's going to knock him out. You want to see this, myself included. You want to see the striker stuff the takedowns and knock him out and make him look bad. But then these fights play out and you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Valentina's too big and the wrestling's too good, isn't it? That's what wins fights. So I want Grant Dawson, you think that they got Chris Duncan working with Renato Moicano and they take his back and these guys are coming up with a brilliant game plan and then they're telling Grant Dawson, you should stand and trade with this Mexican banger. No, they're going to take him down and they're going to grind him out. So, yeah, I got Grant Dawson.
Yeah, that's fair. This is the kind of dog I can talk myself into. We'll see what happens by the end of the week. Next up, you guys, we've got Jan Błachowicz taking on Bogdan Guskov, the king himself, legendary Polish power, Jan Błachowicz, and then Bogdan Guskov, who's really kind of taken the UFC by storm the last year or two. This is a really fun fight, Cody. And frankly, this is a two-timer, right? Like this is a changing of the guard fight and a levels fight at the same time. We've got close to a pick'em price tag here on this one. And if Jan was not over the age of 40, he'd be a minus 600 favorite here. Like it's not even close, man. Like Jan is the fucking man. He has been underestimated his entire career. He's on a tough run right now. His last two opponents, Carlos Ulberg and Alex Pereira. Like he went to a split decision that a lot of people thought he won over Alex Pereira.
Maybe won both of those, if we're being honest.
Exactly. Like there's an argument he won both those fights. He went to a split draw with Magomed Ankalaev, which again, a little bit of a weird situation. We're talking about the top 3 fighters at 205 right now. This guy could have theoretically beaten all 3 of them. So then his only win though is Rakic, which is the fluke leg kick TKO injury in round 3. I felt like he was well on his way to winning that fight anyway, but still, it's an injury loss. So people are going to kind of pull away from him there a little bit. I hate betting on guys over the age of 40 because they can just fall off a cliff at any point in time. Your durability is not getting better. Your cardio is not getting better. All the PEDs in the world are not holding your duct tape knees together. So I worry about him being 42 years old. But Bogdan Guskov, at best, is a meme machine. His UFC debut, I know it's on short notice, but who gets submitted by Volkan Oezdemir? Nobody. You don't get submitted by Volkan No Time Oezdemir. The dude's a boxer. Like, yeah, that doesn't happen. So he bonks Ryan Spann, a fellow memer. Okay, so what? He beats Billy Elikana. That looks like, in hindsight, it's aged kind of well, right? But
lost the first round to him. No,
lost the first round to him. Exactly. And Nikita Krylov, who I've just been banging the drum on, is a guy that you want to fade. People wouldn't believe me. That was a gorgeous fight. I bet on Bogdan that night, him getting it done in round 1. Krylov shot to bits. You can't, if Jan is not shot to bits, as long as Jan isn't shot to bits, Cody, he wins this fight. It's got to be Jan Błachowicz season, right? It has to be.
Yeah, I got him too. I got him as well. Like when you watch interviews with him, he's not retirement's near and I've got some injuries. I'm sure he's got injuries. He didn't talk like that. It talks about like, why don't they book me more often? Why are these top guys dodging me? Like, I'm ready to go. And it's like, yeah, he's got a pretty valid argument. You mentioned the last fight with Carlos Ulberg. He almost beat him. And Ulberg has been absolutely icing quite literally everybody else, other than Volkan Oezdemir. Anyways, his fight with Alex Pereira, also argument he may have won, and it's a split. Pereira otherwise ices everybody else. His fight with Magomed Ankalaev, a one-time champion, if you will, he fights him to a draw. These are the top guys of the division. These are respectively 3 of the top 5 guys of the division. This Glover Teixeira fight, I always thought he had a bad neck for that one. Like you could see he had some type of neck injury. Went over Israel Adesanya. I get it, up at 205. Knocks out Dominic Reyes. That one doesn't look great because of Reyes' last fight, but it honestly is still a nice win. Polish power, dude, for real. And then you think, okay, well, he says he feels good. He says his body's healthy. Watching the fights, I do think he's a better striker than Bogdan. I do think he's got more durability. I do think he's got a better BJJ. I think he's got way more experience. So what causes you to pull the parachute and say no? Wow, he's 42 years old. You know who else is 42 years old? Nicholas Dalby. God damn it. Some of these guys just refuse to go away. And Nicholas Dalby is a former alcoholic for 10 years. And now he's 42. You think his organs are stressed out? You think his ligaments are dried out? You think his body's... No! The human body is a miraculous thing. If you take care of it and you're born with... Same thing as buying a car. All these cars were made on the same lot. And yet one of them's a lemon and will break down after 100,000 miles. And the other one will drive for 300,000 miles. But they're made on the same lot. But one's a lemon.
My grandpa's 93 years old, just suffered a stroke and a heart attack, and he's already out on the streets hiking and shit like that. So you guys are stuck with me till I'm 105, apparently. Good genetics right here.
My grandpa, he's dead now, but my grandpa, when I was like 6 years old, he went to the hospital. They were like, your heart's done, dude. So you need a heart transplant. And who's going to give a 60-year-old man a heart transplant? And he was on a list. He was like number 5 on the list. Basically, they sent us down to Ottawa to say goodbye to him because he was going to die. Priest comes in, gives him his last rites, and the next morning they come in and he's still there. So they keep the feeding tube in, and then they're like, all right, he's done the second time. So they bring us back out. Priest gives him his last rites a second time. Guy lives again, right? So this 18-year-old Native American girl in Saskatchewan commits suicide. And her heart is a non-match for the people on the list ahead of my grandpa, but his is. So a 60-year-old man ends up receiving an 18-year-old Native girl's heart and a transplant. And this is a long time ago, and we were in Ottawa, and it was this big thing, dude. I was probably like 6 years old. It was this big thing. He was like the second or third person in Canada to get a successful heart transplant and had a pacemaker. And I think he was the second person to have the pacemaker and then to go to the heart transplant. The doctor sits him down. He's like, Walter, if you diet and you exercise and you take care of this new heart, it'll have extended your life 10 more years. And that was his whole thing. I was only like 6. So he was like, I don't want to die before my grandkids remember me and who I am. So with 10 more years, he was hell bent on, we were all going to know grandpa, right? He did not diet. He did not exercise. He did not take care of himself. 21 years, dog. 21 years he lived after that. And we all know grandpa, my guy. So yeah, it's your desire. It's your will to live. It's your body. Some guys can cut 40 pounds, man. Some guys' body, their liver, their organs will start to close up shop and shut down after 10 pounds. It's a crazy mystery. Jan Błachowicz, the only thing I can possibly think of, people might say I'm crazy on this, but this is my gut feeling. He's not telling us about this, but when he goes home, he looks, closes the blinds, makes sure no one's around, opens up the closet. He's got a bunch of crystals. For some reason, I think he's got a bunch of crystals in his closet. He's drawing some fucking Jared Cannonier power, Maycee Barber style, and he's icing people. So I got to go with my guy here. I know Bogdan, Guskov, and you are like pretty identical. I used to laugh about the Anthony Smith and Clint jokes, but no, Guskov looks a lot more like you.
It's the glasses. The glasses are what make people think Anthony Smith, but you're right. It's closer to Guskov, man. And I'm with you. I will forever hang my hat on the moment where in the lead up to the Reyes fight, Reyes was all about like Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. I grew up on DBZ. I love DBZ. And Jan caught me off guard, man, because they were like, Reyes thinks he's Goku, man. Like Reyes keeps talking about how he's Goku, and so is Vegeta. I can't remember who. I think he said Yuri. It was like Yuri's Vegeta, and it's like, so who are you then? And he looks at the camera, and no joke, without missing a beat, he goes, "I am Broly." And it's like, oh, like Jan knows ball, man. Like Broly whoops the shit out of both Goku and Vegeta. They have to literally fuse to take him down. I was like, Broly knows, Jan knows his shit, man. So yeah, no, we're all about that legendary Polish power. One last ride with the old dog. Let's go, Jan. Let's get it this week. All right, guys. Next up, we're headed to the bantamweight class, and as you know, I am your bantamweight king, so we must break out the crown for Henry Cejudo versus Payton Talbott. And I've been waiting for this one, man. I've been waiting for this fight. Payton Talbott is the guy. He is the fucking man, okay? I called it a mile away. He's a special freak athlete. He is going to be absolutely incredible. 10-1. He got fraud checked earlier in the year by Hani Barcelos. Didn't have the grappling chops, apparently. They threw him in there with Felipe Lima, one of the easiest bets of my life to take plus money on Payton Talbott against Felipe Lima. Everybody and their mother kept telling me how insane I was. He just got out-grappled by Hani. What's he going to do? This kid is a freak. All right. So he went in there not expecting to get wrestled. He got wrestled. Okay. He learned his lesson. But the UFC is really putting his feet to the fire here. They're going, okay, so you were able to wrestle with Felipe Lima. Now we're going to give you triple fucking C. Gold medalist wrestler. Let's see if you've improved enough to go ahead and go out there and work with Henry freaking Cejudo. I got to tell you guys, Henry Cejudo was one of my all-time favorite fighters. This guy printed money for me. But the fact of the matter is, he old now. And he fell off a cliff. Okay, I loved Henry Cejudo, and he was a complete monster at 125 pounds. And he moved up to 135, and he struck while the iron was hot, and he did the damn thing when it made sense, right? Getting the win over Dom Cruz. I felt like he beat Aljamain Sterling. That was a close fight. Like, it was all going good for him, but he hung it up at the wrong time. He walked away from the UFC because he expected a payday. They didn't want to meet his number, and he lost years of his prime trying to hold out. Now he comes back, and these guys are all too big. They're all too big. They're too strong. He is too small and too old to keep up with this crop of 135-pounders. He's on a 3-fight losing skid. Granted, some of the best in the world, right? Merab, Aljamain, and then the eye poke with Song. He was losing that fight, though. And that's kind of the big key here, man, is that before the eye poke, he was losing. So they went to a technical decision, and he lost that fight when he couldn't continue with the eye poke. Now he's coming in here against Payton Talbott, and he's already said he's on paper using the R word, Cody. This is it. He's going to retire. If he can't beat Payton Talbott, it's over. And I've got it on good authority that his coach over at Fight Ready, I thought his last fight was with Tracy Cortez a couple weeks ago. He's doing camp with Henry for this fight, and then that's it. So coach is hanging up too. So Henry's hanging it up. Coach is hanging it up.
Eric Garciano, or who's he with?
So at Fight Ready, Santino DeFranco, doing one last camp with him. And yeah, man, this is Payton Talbott's coming out party. The UFC has given him a big opportunity against a big, well-known name. They're looking to bury Henry Cejudo one last time before he hangs it up. And I hate this number, Cody. Payton Talbott's going to win this fight, man, but you can't be laying minus 300 against Henry Cejudo. There's a huge age gap here. There's a huge size difference here. And Henry don't wrestle the way he used to. Why? Because these kids at 135 are too big. They're too strong. He gets tired. He can't keep that shit up for 15 or 25 minutes the way he used to in his prime. So he just kind of, like a lot of old grapplers, has abandoned the wrestling somewhat. If he goes out there and tries to kickbox with Payton Talbott, his ass is going to sleep. Payton Talbott might be the first guy to knock out Henry Cejudo, Cody. And I mean that. So I like Payton Talbott here, you guys, but I have a hard time with this money line. I may end up just doing the put my balls where my mouth is thing and putting him in like a 2-legger money line parlay anyway, because I do think he wins, but I don't like the number. I wish it were closer. Payton has all of his hype back and more based on what we're seeing from this number. And I think it should be somewhere in like the minus 160 ballpark rather than the minus 300 ballpark. But I do think he wins, Cody. Your bantamweight king has spoken. What do you think, man?
Yeah, listen, I agree with you. I got Payton Talbot as well. It's just it comes down to the narrative of is Henry Cejudo going to come out here and wrestle? And whereas he really hasn't been, he only shot 3 takedowns against Song Yadong, against Merab Dvalishvili, whatever, it's Merab. Against Aljamain Sterling, yeah, whatever, it's Aljamain Sterling. But you are getting out wrestled. You're an Olympic gold medalist. You're 125 pounds. You're the man. I thought Demetrius Johnson beat him that second time, to be honest with you, but they gave it to him. They cut DJ, and all of a sudden you become the man. But yeah, no, he moves up to 135, beat a couple old legends, and then wanted the payday. Payday didn't happen. Takes 3 years off, and just hasn't won a fight since then. Against Aljamain, he obviously starts to slow the longer it goes, but he gets out wrestled. Against Merab Dvalishvili, Merab shot, I think it was 49 takedowns. Sorry, that one was 5 for 11. We'll talk about Merab's 49 takedown effort a bit. With I just don't know that he's got the endurance to go a hard 15 anymore. I don't know that he's got this big power anymore. When you look at the Dominic Cruz fight, big knockout. Marlon Moraes, he's losing the first round. By the third, he's tired. He knocks him out. TJ Dillashaw, a really bad weight cut, he knocks him out. That ability to wrestle box, having huge power in your hands, knock out an opponent, but also wrestle them, that'll make you world class. Now you move up a weight class. The power doesn't translate. It's not coming with you. Yeah, maybe it did against Dominic Cruz, but now we're talking about the upper echelon guys of the division 10 years past Cruz's prime. The better guys now, the power, it hasn't really converted over. The wrestling, meanwhile, it also hasn't really converted over. You look at the Marlon Moraes fight, he's getting beat standing and he's having trouble getting his wrestling going. The Song Yadong fight, it's kind of the same thing. He's struggling to get his wrestling going and he starts to get outworked standing. With Payton Talbot, it's easy to say, well, Payton Talbot got taken down 8 times by Raoni Barcelos. And I mean, Raoni's an older guy. Henry's an older guy, but he's just as old as Raoni. He'll be able to take him down a bunch of times. Yeah, maybe. The difference is Raoni Barcelos, first of all, is a high-level BJJ black belt. And then second of all, why did he have to take him down 8 times? Because he couldn't really hold him down. He was getting takedowns and Talbot would get back up and he was able to take him back down. This is winning rounds, yes. But when is Henry Cejudo taking a guy down 8 times? It's really not his game. His game is taking you down a couple times and strike with you. And when he's striking with Payton Talbot, he's going to get himself into trouble. And when he's shooting takedowns over Payton Talbot, he's going to exert a lot of energy, probably does get the takedown. And then what? If Payton Talbot's able to get back up, then it's just a whole bunch of energy that you've expended. And one takedown, you're spending 3 minutes grinding a guy, taking him down, getting him up against the cage, dropping levels, hitting the single leg, whipping him to the ground. He tries to scramble. You try to get one hook and he gets back up. You go to a hip ride. You separate. He punches you 3 times in the face and kicks you in the body. That's all they remember. They remember the damage. They remember the strikes. I feel like that's what Payton is going to rack up here. This is a younger Henry. If this is a Henry Cejudo we could rely a little bit more on to actually go out and secure takedowns and just fight a wrestling-heavy game plan, yeah, maybe he's got a chance, but I don't trust the game plan. And you're saying he's at fight ready? I got to look into it. He used to be with Captain Eric Albarracin forever. This is his guy. Same coach as the Pitbull brothers at fight ready. And
yeah, he's still there, I believe.
Before his last fight, he fired him. He's like, "You're fired. Everybody's fired. I've decided to go in a different direction, and I'm closing in my team. And sorry, but I'm going in a different route." And then he looked awful against Song Yadong.
But then they were all there in like the pre-UFC clips and stuff like that. So I think that was just for show. I think that was for the cameras.
Albarracin's like the nicest guy in the world. He's like, "Yeah, man, I wish him all the best." It's like, wow. Yeah, most people are usually sour, but no, I just feel like with Henry, he's not technically won a fight in over 5 years. So it kind of feels irresponsible to be like, this is the spot that he's going to come out and beat one of the top prospects in the entire division. Seems a little bit much. He's talking about retirement. If I'm going to retire, I might as well take on one of these top prospects. And if I win, I beat the guy before he became this great thing. This is great because this is a win that's going to age really good for me. And if I lose, who gives a shit? This is a loss that's also going to age really well for me. So he's willing to go out there and test himself and rise to the challenge. And that's all impressive. And that's all something we can all respect. And I think we all like. I like him. I don't care that people call him cringe. I don't care that I like Henry Cejudo.
I love he stirred into the king of cringe thing.
Yeah, the game kind of passes you by. And so last but not least is like Payton Talbot's been apparently working on his ground game extensively with Frank Ocean. So I think he'll probably be ready for whatever Cejudo tries to check his oil on the ground.
Fair enough. I like it, man. I think he's gonna turn some heads this week. And my guy in the chat for UFC Bet Pick says, Clint, it's put your money where your mouth is, not put your balls where your mouth is. I might have slipped up a little bit on that one. So
you did. Someone's got to clip that because that would be the greatest. That would be
I'm absolutely getting clipped. We're not walking away from this one unscathed. Guys, we've got about 850 of you live watching the show right now. So thank you all very much for being here for UFC 323. Me and my boy Cody breaking it all down for you. Last couple fights here. Let's run through these things, man. Next up, you got Brendan Moreno taking on Tatsuro Taira, and it's another changing of the guard style fight, man. Tatsuro Taira, the young hotness. This guy is all the rage right now, taking on my boy, Brandon Moreno, my freaking favorite fighter. I love this guy. His story is seriously like the most inspiring, coolest story in MMA. Dude goes from being the unwanted fighter, the last pick on the Ultimate Fighter, to being in the cut division. The UFC brings all these guys back at the smaller weight classes. He fights his ass off, gets all the way to the title, wins the championship. He's also just the nicest guy of all time ever. So he's not even like a douchebag that's going to, I don't know, ram a car into a pregnant woman and flee the scene or anything like that. He's like an actual good dude, plays with Legos, has a family. Like, what's not to love about Brandon Moreno? Completely underestimated his entire career, well-rounded, high-level scrambler, good boxer, decent pop in his hands. He controls the range on the feet. He controls the space. He controls the timing. He makes sure to control the volume as well. If you get him with one, he does have that Mexican thing in him where he's got to get that one back. So like he's always winning on the volume number side of things as well because he controls the rest of it. And if you touch him, he's going to touch you. That's just how it goes. I love Brandon Moreno. He's a badass. Tatsuro Taira, 17-1, 25 years old, still a kid. Got his first ever career loss against Brandon Royval via split decision. Tough one. Close fight. Comes back against Hyung-Sung Park and just tears this guy a new one. Now, Park may be a little bit of a fraud. Might be a fraud. But he goes right back to his finishing ways. And that's what Taira was doing on his way up the chain here, is just taking people out, dicing them with that ground game, man. He's absolutely phenomenal on the mat. But here's the thing, Cody. One does not simply submit Brandon Moreno. In fact, it's never happened. The dude's never been finished, period. Never been knocked out, never been submitted. I've never seen anybody beat him in scrambles. And he's the only person to actually beat him in scrambles, Alexandre Pantoja, who he went to a split decision with. Like a fight that I really thought he won. It went the other way, but that's the toughest fight Alexandre Pantoja has had since he got the belt in the UFC. So this guy is legitimately like the unsung hero of this weight class, number 2 overall. Tatsuro Taira is going to have to go through it to win this one, man. And frankly, I'm ride or die with my boy. That's the Link Memorial Dog of the Week. I'm saying Brandon Moreno is going to turn this kid back. He's going to win those scrambles, and he's going to put together a better performance than Brandon Royval did, and he'll be able to keep Tatsuro Taira at bay for another year or so. I haven't had a lot of dogs on this card, man, and he's only plus 105-ish, like plus 110. You're barely getting plus money, so I know it almost doesn't count. I don't have a giant underdog for you guys this week yet. Couple of small ones, maybe. I like Brandon Moreno this week.
Yeah, like you said, Brandon Moreno's never been finished. Well, technically on the Ultimate Fighter, he did get choked out by Pantoja, but that goes back to what Clint's saying. He's the number 16 seed guy, and they seeded them. I think it's the only time in tough history that they did that. He's number 16. The number 1 seed is Pantoja. So the first round, Brandon Moreno, who's not expected to do anything, gives him hell. And then the second round, this young kid makes one mistake. Pantoja chokes him out. They run back the fight in the UFC. And this time, Brandon Moreno goes the whole distance, but he still loses. Years later, they ran it back, technically a trilogy. Second time as a pro fight because the one on the Ultimate Fighter is an exhibition. And it's a split decision, which I thought Moreno won as well. Every time he fought Pantoja, he did better every time. And that's really this guy's career. He's a hard worker. He puts in the work. He used to just be a Mexican brawler. He's got some good boxing. He's fast. He enters the target. He's the assassin baby. Looks like he's a little kid, and he's got some hands on him, but yeah,
they used to call him the baby assassin. I think someone made him change it.
The baby is, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, it lost in translation. It's the cartel thing. So yeah, I really do think that he's kind of added all the skills to his game. He came to Las Vegas. He spent a lot of time, with Eric Nixick and John Wood, and a lot of the guys down in Las Vegas have helped, add skills to this guy's game. And then just being a hard worker, consummate professional, very durable, as Clint mentioned, hard to put away. It becomes a problem for a lot of guys. Anytime you can get him for plus money, good. And realistically, the Brandon Royval split, that's his last loss. Damn, I thought he won. And the Pantoja fight, I kind of also thought he won. And these two split decisions going your way. One judge thought you won. It just two think you win. It puts him on a 6-fight winning streak. It makes him, he's currently the UFC champion on a 6-fight winning streak, and he's a plus money underdog to Tatsuro Taira. I'm not seeing it. Now, he is 31 years old. It's not old at all. It's not. But at a flyweight, it's considered you're starting to get up there. But Pantoja's 35. We'll talk about his fight next. It's not a death sentence. This kid took a little bit of time off after the Brandon Royval fight. He said, I want to step away for a little bit. Sorry, I think maybe after the Amir Albazi fight. Comes back. I didn't think he looked great against Steve Erceg. I did not think he looked good against Steve Erceg. But it was coming off a bit of a layoff. And, not a huge layoff, but I think that he's going to be able to find his groove a little bit easier against Tatsuro Taira. Stuff the takedowns, keep it standing, win the fight. Taira, meanwhile, is only 25 years old. He's definitely getting better with his overall striking. His boxing getting better. The kicks getting better. He's another one of these guys you can point a whole lot of flaws in his game, and they don't add up to doing well against Brandon Moreno. For example, we can watch back his fight with Jesus Aguilar. Sorry, his fight with Edgar Chairez. Edgar Chairez knocks him down. Lands a nice shot in the first round, puts him down, then he takes him down. The third round, Edgar Chairez stuffs the takedowns, keeps it standing, and starts to out-hustle him. Chairez won a round on all three judges' scorecards. This is just 2 years ago. His fight with Alex Perez also won the first round. He stopped the takedowns, he forced him to be standing, he boxed him up. Second round, Tatsuro Taira jumps on his back and he blows his knee out. His fight with Brandon Royval, he got the takedowns. Royval's a good grappler. Royval's good scrambler. Royval gets back up, and then when he gets back up, too much volume, too much pace, a little bit of wrestling of his own. That reminds you a lot of Brandon Moreno, because Brandon Moreno, although he does not fight like Brandon Royval, he's big on pace and pressure and volume, good leg kicks, nice boxing, quick hands inside the pocket, moves, really good distance management, and can scramble well, can mix in takedowns of his own. This making you work, keeping up a high work rate, that's going to lead to a win. That's what he does. On his last fight against Hung Soo Park, what do you really want to know? It's done before it starts. Not much happens. But you can see his boxing's getting better. He's got some decent power in his right hand, if we're being honest. But decent power and being able to knock down Hung Sung Park, being able to knock down Carlos Hernandez. Bro, it's not Brandon Moreno. Knocking down, let alone knocking out Brandon Moreno, good luck. Subbing him, although possible, highly unlikely. So what you got to do is you got to show up with the lunchbox and then work him. And I just don't see that necessarily happening here. So yeah, for me, it's a Brandon Moreno play. To me, it's plus. It's not plus money. It's a pick 'em. It's close to even fight. But you're right. This is a pay-per-view with high-profile fights. The lines have been set a long time ago. The soft openers got hammered a while ago. These are all lines that have been bet down to the range they're supposed to be at. And if you can get plus money on Brandon Moreno, yeah, why not? That's the side I'm going to roll with.
Yep. My all-time leader, Cody. I've made the most money in my career backing Brandon Moreno and Brandon Moreno fights. I've had a good read on him. He has not let me down. We're going to rock with my boy one more time. Glad to hear you sign off here on the pick. Let's do it one more, baby. All right, guys. Co-main event of the evening. Alexandre Pantoja takes on Joshua the Fearless Van, who has just been a breath of fresh air in the UFC. Cody, Josh Van and Walter Walker, like the two guys that just like swoop in with their hero capes on, light shit on fire, and do the damn thing. I love this kid. I love this kid. So he comes in here and he just bangs, dude. It's like he talks about not having a game plan. I said that it was going to catch up to him eventually, that he's just going to come in and punch his way through these guys. It ain't happening. Charles Johnson knocks him out in round 3, and I was like, there it is. There it is. We found the ceiling. He rattles off another 5 straight wins and then beats the brakes off Brandon Royval, knocks out Bruno Silva. I'm like, whoa, like this kid took off like a rocket and never looked back. And now he's getting a title shot against Alexandre Pantoja. And Pantoja has been so dominant as champion at 35 years old. They're flying people in from Japan. They're signing Kaya Sakura to get in here to fight this guy because he's cleaned this division out. And like we talked about, the only guy that really gave him a go was Brandon Moreno. Now, Brandon Royval, you can make an argument. He needed one more round, though. Like, you could see Pantoja starting to tire out. Royval is basically a Diaz brother. Endless cardio. If there's one more round, Royval probably wins the belt from him. But thank God, it's only 5 rounds in a title fight. Pantoja gets the dang thing done. He just seems unstoppable right now, man. Absolutely unbeatable. Van is going to go in there, walk forward, and try and punch him in the mouth until he drops. That's it. Pantoja is going to look to grapple against Josh Van. This could be a level situation. You know, Van has worked really hard on his takedown defense. He's worked really hard on his get-up game. And we've seen that work against lower-level guys. None of these guys are anywhere near the level of Pantoja. And that's kind of all this comes down here to me. I have tried betting against Pantoja, Cody. I really have. And I've learned my lesson. He has beaten me into submission. I don't need to try anymore. If there was ever somebody that was worth taking a shot with, though, it's someone like Josh Van, who's just got the aura factor, right? This kid seems special. Now, if he loses this fight, it's no shame. Josh Van can turn right back around, get 1 or 2 more wins. He'll get another crack in a year. This kid's probably destined for gold at some point. But is this too soon for him to be taking on Alexandre Pantoja, of all people? I think Van is a live bet spot, Cody, because Pantoja slows down. He does get tired, and these long extended fights, all these title fights over and over and over, eventually being 35 years old, cutting weight and fighting 25 minutes at a time, it's going to get to you. I think we look at live betting Josh Van in round 3. If Pantoja starts to slow down, that mouth starts to hang open, some of those takedowns fail, we jump in. Pre-flop, it's got to be Pantoja. But Josh Van has my attention. I will be watching very closely and probably expecting some kind of live action on this fight.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, and this could just be stupid, but I did end up taking Josh Van. And for literally, and we'll talk about good reasons and bad reasons too, but literally the only reason I really did come to the conclusion that I'm locking in Josh Van, kind of like you were saying with Brandon Moreno, is like, I don't have any underdogs. There's some close money fights on this card, but for the most part, this is not by, I just go with the favorite. But when you see this card, you don't even see a line. You just know, Mairon Santos is the favorite. There's no way Mansur Abdul-Malik's not the favorite. Iwo, I like Iwo. He turns out that he's the favorite. Jalen Turner, Jalen Turner retired. Maybe people will fade him. No, he's the favorite. Marvin Vettori, he hasn't looked good in a minute. Maybe I can get some plus money up. You can't. Faraz Zayam, okay, everyone likes Sadikov, right? You can't get plus money there too. It's just how I feel on these fights. And so with Josh Van, what you're getting is you're getting plus money on a flyweight fight. It's always a good place to start. Always. Because it's a crazy division. Not only getting plus money, but like it's 2-1 favorite Pantoja. That's a lot. And with Van, yeah, he's younger. This is his 4th fight of 2025. He's already absorbed over 300 significant strikes this year alone. He's clearly going to have CTE at some point, but he's Burmese. He's from Myanmar. It's what these guys do. He's here for a good time, not a long time. And so it's awesome that he's been able to fight his way into a title fight this quick, because he's not going to be a 30-year-old. He's not going to be Pantoja 35 hanging around this division, let me tell you. He takes way too much damage. But he's a 5-round guy in every sense of the word. The guy looks like he's built for 5 rounds. When you watch a lot of these fights, say him versus Felipe Bunez, or him versus Kevin Borges, or him versus Cody Durden, or him versus Edgar Chavez. He's a really slow starter. Like, he loses the first round to a bunch of guys. And then the second round, it's like, damn, this guy's actually throwing way more than he did. And then the third round, they can't keep up. He starts to just break you late. He pulls away late. Now you're giving him 2 more rounds to operate with. Crazy. Think about his last fight with Brandon Royval. He landed 204 significant strikes with a knockdown in 15 minutes. What if you gave him another 10 minutes? At the rate he was going, he would have landed.
Nobody out hustles Royval. This kid out-hustled Royval.
Well, Royval outstruck him, but you're right. Royval, I've never seen Royval tired in my life. And I had a Royval ticket, and in the third round, it was like, we can win this thing. It's 1-1. We can win this thing. And it's like, Royval's getting tired.
Those body shots.
Yeah, it's just Van does everything right, man. His striking is so good. Did I mention he's from Burma? I guess they call it Myanmar now. This guy can strike, bro. Left way is in their blood. Yeah, he's not allowed to headbutt, but if he was allowed, he'd do it. he can strike for days. His 4-ounce fight club in Texas, like they're not known for their grappling. When you watch amateur fights from him, when you watch regional show fights from him before he signs with the UFC, his grappling is the whole of his game. His fights, Zalgas took him down once. More concerning, Felipe Bunez took him down twice in the first round, got 2 minutes of control time. Cody Durden, he took him down twice as well and got 3 minutes of control time. Ray Cejudo took him down 4 times and actually had moments in that fight for sure. Just couldn't really secure position. So those guys are taking you down, but they're not able to hold position. If those guys can take you down, Pantoja probably can take you down. And if those guys were struggling to hold position, Pantoja doesn't have those problems, man. Like his grappling is really good. That's the one thing I'm hesitant to fade him. I took him over Kai Asakura, and I felt awesome. I did fade him against Kai Kara-France, thinking extend this to 5 rounds. Kai Kara-France is one of the bigger power punchers for 125. He's got a striking advantage. Drag this thing out, and I felt so foolish. At no point is Kai in that fight for not even a half a second. All it is he gets taken down, then he gets his back taken, then he gets neutralized, and then he gets choked out. What more do you want? And the fight with Asakura is the same thing, but so why do it? I'll tell you why. The Usyk fight. I'll always bring this up. Steve Usyk was like the number 8th ranked contender, right? Pantoja is the number 1 guy. He's beaten all the best guys, and he's taking on a guy that literally they were like, we'll give it to Steve Usyk. He's 3-0 in the UFC. He was competing in the Gamma Games 2 years ago, and we're going to give him a title fight because we have no flyweights. And Usyk, it's 2-2 going into the 5th, and Usyk just makes a bonehead decision in the 5th to blow for himself. Almost not top 10 guy, a Rocky Balboa, we picked him out of a list, shows up and almost beats him. Because if you have good cardio, you've got good striking, and you can really push a pace, you can make it happen. The difference is Usyk.
He's also really big.
I know. Usyk's gigantic, and I think taking him down, holding him down proved to be a problem. Van's small. Kai Kara-France is small.
That's why I worry.
Is skinny, and so I get these flashbacks where I'm like, yeah, I take Van. It's like, but how much do you like him? Well, I like he's plus money, but how much do you like him? Well, dude, I like Pantoja too. It's just I'm chasing the plus money. I'm value boys, team value boy. I'm taking some plus money. And then I get these flashbacks of not the Asakura fight, I was on the side, but that France fight where it's like, do you want to just look like an idiot again? Yeah, this guy's striking's real good. But okay, well, let's go back to Chris Duncan and let's go back to Grant Dawson. And let's go back to these guys that are going to prepare properly and fight with a really good game plan. What do all 3 of those guys got in common? Oh yeah, that's right, American Top Team. So why would he decide, let's stand and trade with Josh Van? Yeah, it makes no sense now, does it? You know his game plan. We shoot takedowns and try to take him down. So anyways, all that being said, I am going to take Van, and this is the last thing I'll say. Why take Van? This is why I'm going to take it. Van's only got 1 opponent in there, Alexandre Pantoja. Alexandre Pantoja's got 2 opponents in there, Josh Van and Father Time. It's going to get him in the ass at some point. Maybe it's not this fight. Maybe it wasn't the last fight. Maybe it's not the next fight. It's going to bite him in the ass at some point when you don't see it coming. And it might as well be this one. So if you can get good plus money, and there's good plus money being offered on Josh Van, worth a shot, man. Flyweight. Clint makes a great point, too. If you can live bet this thing, maybe going into the 3rd, that's not a bad angle at all either. But I'm going to take Josh Van.
I like it. I really do, man. I was this close. I was almost there myself. The thing is, I've been the guy betting against Pantoja and failing. I bet Moreno. I bet Usyk. That was my alternate timeline, man. Like a butterfly flapped its wings, and I'm in the wrong timeline where he lost that fight instead of cashing a giant ticket for me. And then I bet Royval. And then I bet Royval based on the cardio that, like, I took my shots, man. And Pantoja has just proven to me that he's the GOAT. That's it. Like, he's made me a believer. So I've got a hard time pre-flop betting against him. And my guy JB in the chat says, what if Van stuffs the takedowns early? Then you take the even money, man. Like, that's the thing. I think there's no way to go wrong here because Josh Van is never not rolling downhill. So if he starts winning this fight, Pantoja's fucked. He's never going to change the course of this fight.
Keeps getting better.
Exactly. So if you go, oh shit, Josh Van's going to win this, and it's minus 105, boo freaking who, you could have had plus 200. Bet it. Sack up, quit being a bitch. Like, take the money. So that's my policy on this one, man. I'm gonna lean Pantoja with a pass gambling pre-flop. I'm gonna watch this fight live. And if I can get a good number on Van because I like what I see, I'll jump in live at whatever point that is, whether it's plus money, whether it's even money, whether it's minus 150, don't care. If I see that Van is winning that fight, I'll jump in live and make my money that way.
Yeah, all right, I agree. Main event time, baby.
It's main event time, and we are just shy of 900 of you live watching this show tonight, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Make sure you're supporting my boy Cody here. Make sure you're checking out Bookie Beatdown. Please get subscribed to the channel if you guys have not yet done that. And also, please make sure you guys are checking out cloudbet.com. They sponsor the show. You can get up to $2,500 in welcome bonuses when you sign up. Promo code is in the link in the description below. Die Hard MMA. Be sure to check them out. And we are talking about the rematch. Merab the Machine Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan 2. What a fight, man. So I was looking back through the timeline, Cody, and one of the greatest bets I have ever made in my entire life was plus 200 on Merab the first time he fought Petr Yan. I rode Merab at plus money the whole way to the top, man. This was my freaking guy. I do have to say I'm ashamed a little bit. I betrayed him because I believed in Umar Nurmagomedov and unfortunately jumped off at that point.
You know what, man? I tell this to people all the time. People say this, a bad pick. Okay, so Umar wins the first 2 rounds, and then he breaks his hand, and then he loses the last 3 rounds. Is that something you can foresee happening? Does that make it a bad pick? No, it was a great pick. It just didn't work out. It didn't work out. Shit happens sometimes, brother. Don't beat yourself up on that.
I was right there. And on top of that, I had the futures bet to go with it. Like, I was all in on Umar, man. That 3rd round, just my heart sank. Because as soon as Merab won round 3, you just knew he was winning 4 and 5. Umar had to win the first 3. So close, man. So close. Merab, much like Pantoja, is making a case for GOAT, man. Like, he is unstoppable right now at this weight class. He's old. He wrestles. Now he's finishing people. Like, he choked out Sean O'Malley. He made that fight look easy in the rematch, man. It's incredible what Merab is doing out there. And I even tried to poke some holes in him that it's like, man, in that first fight, like, Sean O'Malley got him to the body. Like, these long dudes, they got to go for the body, hit him to the body. And Merab's making adjustments. He's cutting angles they've never seen before. He's still finding ways to put them on their ass and wearing them out. It's crazy. Corey Sandhagen. Now, I knew this one was going to happen, but Corey Sandhagen looked like he didn't belong in the cage with him. It was wild, man. Now, Petr Yan, 19 and 5, he's 32. So he's getting up there too. Neither of these guys are young. They're kind of at the tail end of their primes. He's on a 3-fight win streak right now, and he looked fantastic against Davison and Marcus McGee. One of the big problems I've had with Petr Yan, though, is that downloading thing he does, Cody. First 2 rounds of the fight. Like, the first round, he loses every single fight because he wants to get your timing. He wants to get the angle. He wants to get the distance. And then he cranks it up from there. And against guys that have the ability to match him cardio-wise, or the few guys who can match him skill-wise, that doesn't work. You can't donate a round to your opponent. Now, in a 25-minute fight, he's got the ability to potentially do that. You can give up 1 round in a 25-minute fight and still manage to win a decision. I mean, this guy's nasty with his Muay Thai. The knees, the kicks, high volume, good distance control. The thing is, I don't see where he stops Merab in the takedown game. And even if Merab's got a wall install a little bit, push him up against the fence and bully him there, I don't know that Petr Yan can stop that either. I mean, Yan is incredible, and that's where this line does feel like it's a bit disrespectful. I don't like the plus 300 price tag that we are seeing on Petr Yan right now. That absolutely feels disrespectful. He's going to win 1 or 2 of these rounds. But I still, at the end of the day, think Merab finds a way to win this fight, whether it's 3 rounds to 2, or, you know what, man, if he holds good on his claim that he's going to knock somebody out, maybe he shows off some striking in this fight and he clips Petr Yan with a big one. I don't know. I think Merab is going to win this fight. I think it's Merab. I think it's Merab by decision. If you've got a book that offers those spread props, though, I could see, like I said, Jan winning a round or two here. You might want to look at the +3.5 or +5.5 or whatever it is. You get a couple judges' scorecards on that, and you can win that bet even if he loses a decision. But I've got a hard time seeing this fight go differently from the first one. And Cody, I'm the guy who always said that no two fights are alike. When fighters rematch, they do not follow the same pattern. These guys make adjustments. They come in with different. That doesn't happen here, though. Merab does the same thing to everybody, time in and time out. Where's the difference here? What happens differently in this fight? I think it's Merab by decision.
Yeah, I honestly don't care to see this. Oh, I do care. I love all fights, and I love Petr Yan, and I love Merab, and it's a great fight. I just mean I wasn't asking for a rematch. You did mention in your breakdown, because I agree with a lot of your points, but you mentioned in your breakdown, like, there's no way Petr Yan doesn't win a round or two, and it could be a 3-2. I don't think he wins a round. He didn't win a round the last time they fought. He got 50-45 in all three cards the last time they fought. Merab Dvalishvili took him down 11 times on 49 takedown attempts. 49 takedown attempts. Unheard of. And he got 11 of them. And he landed 170 strikes. And he just kept going. Petr Yan looked so deflated. Because like you said, let's download information. Okay, let's taken down, disrupted, broken internet connection, like dial-up. Remember dial-up back in the day? Fuck, man. 75% downloaded this song on Napster. And some asshole called my dad. And now I got kicked off the goddamn landline. We'll talk about it. Never did end up getting
bad beat, man.
Song
That's like flirting with a girl for 30 minutes over AOL and then finding out it was a 39-year-old dude back in the dial-up days.
I can't say that happened, but what I can say is that the internet is definitely a weird place. And I got kicked off Diablo. I played Diablo 2. That was my shit. Let's get back on track. Point is that you're trying to download, and it's constant system overload. I'm trying to see what his patterns are, but he has no patterns. He comes at me like a wild man. You hit him, he goes down, he pops back up, he's on a leg, he's on an ankle. He's not even trying to take you down and hold you down. He takes you down so that you try to get back up so you can hit a mat return and another one and another one and another one. And whereas some people are saying, hey, we need more action. This is all action. People love to shit on Islam Makhachev. Oh, it's so boring. And they love to shit on Khabib, or they love to shit on George St. Pierre. They love to shit on Magomed Ankalaev as a wrestler. He just sucks ass, I guess. Well, it doesn't suck. He's just so goddamn boring. Kind of like a Bilal Muhammad, who I guess does wrestle. You love to shit on that style. No one's shitting on Merab, bro. What he does is he picks you up. He takes you to Air Dvalishvili, dumps you. You get back up. He takes you down again.
Because he's funny. It's because he's funny.
Well, I always said the guy that's going to be the best fighter from my personal experiences in life and my childhood and growing up and seeing gyms is if you can get someone with advanced ADD, like ADHD, that is physically strong. Oh my God. Because they have infinite cardio. I don't know if you've ever been like friends with like these really hardcore ADD guys. Just bounce off the wall for 3 hours. Who does this? Everybody else gets tired. Everybody's body. No, not them. And then they're physically strong. So Merab's probably on the spectrum. He's got a hint of inbred in him. He's very physically strong. He's definitely got ADD, 100%. You watch interviews with this guy. You see this guy running around the snow and jumping from tree to tree and cutting his cast off with a pair of scissors. He can't stop.
Diving face first into ice-covered freaking lakes.
He just can't stop. And it's like, oh, well, is he indestructible? I was like, well, no one's indestructible. But the times you've seen him wobble, like Marlon Moraes put him down, and I think Jose Aldo hit him a couple good times. It's like he hits the deck, and when he wakes back up, it's like it's like he's turned on. The machine is now turned on. Most guys fight 3 rounds, and it's like, wow, he's got good cardio. In a 5-round fight, to finish 5 rounds, geez, he's got good cardio. But this guy finishes 25 minutes like nothing. Sure, Corey Sandhagen was expected to get taken 20 times. Who scores 20 takedowns in a fight?
Same.
Well, Khabib did it one time. Yeah, well, is that why they say Khabib's the GOAT? Is that why Khabib's undefeated? Merab fights this excellent blend, and he's not satisfied with beating everybody. Then he moves out of New York and he goes to Las Vegas. Not because the coaches are better, because the bodies are different, the training partners, the looks, the styles. I'm really sold on what he does. I do love Petr Yan, but Petr Yan spent a lot of time in Thailand. and this is just like my little inside, didn't matter the last fight, but I will bring it up again for the sake of mentioning, is I talked to a lot of guys in Thailand that had trained with Petr Yan, that see Petr Yan at the gym, whether it was Tiger Muay Thai, Bang Tao, is that they're like, Petr Yan comes in and he spars really hard. Like he beats you up good, and he's down. He'll let you hit him, and he hits you. And he's just one of these, like a lot of Thai guys, is he downloads information. He takes too long. He lets you hit him, downloads the information, gets going. Josh Van's guilty of the same thing. It's a slow starter who usually gives you the first round, figures it out, turns it on. And they said the last few months that he's been dragging his ass. He's hurt. He doesn't want to spar as much. He's slowing down. He's taking a lot of damage. And so knowing all that, I actually took a little fade on him against Marcus McGee. Marcus is older. He's not a ranked contender, but there was really good plus money being offered on him. And hearing that Petr Yan was a little slowed down and watching the fight, it's like, yeah, Petr Yan beat him, but he honestly didn't look good. And in fact, he dropped a round to Marcus McGee on all three judges' scorecards. In what world does Marcus McGee win one single round against Merab Dvalishvili? He doesn't. So Petr Yan, he's in a spot where if you're Merab, it's like, who are the top contenders? Umar, but you beat him. Well, we really like Sean O'Malley. Yeah, but I beat him twice. Well, Henry Cejudo is a gold medalist. Yeah, wiped him out. They gave Corey Sandhagen the fight because it's like, well, who else is going to fight? We don't got anybody. Corey Sandhagen was 1-1 in his last two fights. He lost to Umar, beat Figueiredo, and then was given a title fight because they have no contenders. Jan's the same thing. He's not the best guy that has a chance of beating Merab. It's nobody else in the division can possibly even have a compelling fight with Merab. And, you're a gamer and you're on a 3-fight winning streak and you didn't look great against Marcus McGee, but sure, we'll throw you in there. I love Merab. All I'm saying is he's getting near that point. Jones did it to the 205 division. John Jones says, I'll go to heavyweight. You can like him, you cannot like him. He didn't take the toughest fights at heavyweight, but you got to respect that he went to heavyweight. You got to respect that Islam Makhachev went to 170. Sure, Jack Maddalena is a perfect fight for him. I get it. I respect that. Khabib never moved up a weight class, and as much as we all love him, and I love him, he's not my Mount Rushmore guy. He's not my greatest of all time. He's hung out at 55. Didn't get to the 30-0. Didn't challenge himself with these giant fights. He beat Poirier and Gaethje and McGregor and guys that are good, but are not in my opinion. I honestly don't think Khabib's the greatest ever. If you go up to 170 and he had beat Kamaru Usman, there's no question about it. Khabib's the greatest of all time. But he didn't do that. If Merab moves up to 145 and beats Alexander Volkanovski and takes him down 10 times on 30 attempts, Rob's the greatest of all time. But if you want to hang out at 135 and beat Petr Yan and Corey Sandhagen and Sean O'Malley, it's just not doing it. But who gives a shit? This is his fourth fight in 2025, and he's a UFC champion. Which UFC champion fights more than once?
Alex Pereira is the only guy that tried.
Right. Active UFC champions may fight twice. Pereira's an anomaly. He'll fight 3 times. Yeah, Merab is like, I will fight every month. The problem is you don't have anyone for me to fight. So I'll fight as many times. I don't take no damage. Against Petr Yan, it's the same thing to me. I think he takes him down and then he backs him up. First round, sure, Petr Yan's a slow starter. Second round, Petr Yan says, I'm going to start opening up a little bit, but you're getting taken down. Third round, all of a sudden, if you're down 0-2 to Merab, now you got to win the last 3 rounds. If he can go up 2-1 or he can go up 3-1, whatever the case is, this is the problem. Petr Yan's last fight against Marcus McGee, he doesn't put him away. He doesn't even put him down. He leg kicked him a bunch of times. He hurt his leg. Davidson Figueiredo, he's a bit of a quitter. He went full 5 rounds with him. Song Yadong, gangster, but it went to decision. Merab went to decision. Sean O'Malley went to decision. Aljamain Sterling went to decision. Corey Sandhagen went to decision. DQ'd against Aljamain Sterling, which, I don't know, it felt like he otherwise could have beat him, but he got himself DQ'd. Maybe it goes to decision. Last time he finished a guy was Jose Aldo. Impressive. It's over 5 years ago, and he finished him late in the 5th round. He's not a one-hitter quitter guy. He's a hit you 200 times and you fall over kind of guy. And hitting Merab 200 times, it ain't easy because he's usually taking you down and he's on top of you. So, yeah, the path of victory just starts to diminish. Everyone's got a puncher's chance, but if you ain't a puncher, maybe you don't have that chance. You're going to wrestle him? You're going to work him? You're going to, what's the plan B? I don't know. It's a Merab all day for me. I got Merab by decision.
You and I agree in lockstep here on this main event, man. We are seeing greatness every single time Merab steps in that cage. He might be the GOAT, and I think that train continues on Saturday. Folks, that is over 2.5 hours of breakdowns. Absolutely cover to cover UFC 323. I will get timestamps up for you guys as quickly as possible so you can go back and find the fight that you are looking for. Cody, my man, thank you so much for spending this time with me, dude. It's always so fun to talk fights with you. I couldn't think of a better card to do this and to break this all down. It's been an absolute blast, my guy. Thank you for joining me. If you've got anything you want to shout out, if you've got any sponsors, if you want to tell the people where they can find you and more of your content, my friend, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. Honestly, I plan to jump on the show and just talk for an hour. We got 14 fights. We'll get through it, but you know how it is with us. Once you get talking, and the kind of guy you sit at a bar at all night, slugging beers, watching fights. You're my kind of guy. And it just felt like the last 2.5 hours floated by. So I had a really good time. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to jump on the show, talk fights with you. As you mentioned, it's a nice pay-per-view. And then, yeah, for me, I know that there's a lull, 6 weeks and no UFCs in the holidays, but I'm on Bookie Beatdown. We got our own Discord. We just break down all regionals. If you're into LFA, if you're into Cage Warriors, you're into CFFC, Anthony Pettis FC, One Championship, ACA, Aries Fight Series, you name it. We've got a channel going. We're putting up picks. We've got black belt guys in the channel. One of our guys is fighting this weekend. We've got fighters in the Discord, and it's basically just a place where anything beyond UFC. We talk a lot of UFC. But if you're looking for that, what more is there? If you want to talk about PFL, if you want to talk about Tough Enough, if you want to talk about WOW from Spain or FCR from Sweden, or EFC from Africa, this is the place. PFL Mania. I hate PFL Mania, but we still talk about it. God damn, I hate PFL Mania, but we talk about it. So yeah, dude, that's what I'm doing. I'm having a really good time with it. Of course, I'm busy. I'm actually doing my own MMA show on Saturday, December 6th. So there's a kick-ass card going on. I'm doing my own card.
Sweet.
The same day. And so, yeah, I've been matchmaking it. We got 15 fights. So life never stops. And so it's really cool to just drop by and shoot the shit with my old boy Clint and,
Hell yeah.
escape reality for a minute, talk about fights. And then the best thing we can do is go out. We did the work. We did the tape study. We've got the knowledge. We couple that with two things are going to bring us over the moon. Thing number one, it's Clint's birthday today. So we got some birthday magic in the air. Thing number two, some fucking crystals. We harness that energy. You
Clint. Stole my punchline, you son of a bitch.
We harness the energy, and we're going all the way to the moon this week, baby. So I'm in. I appreciate it, brother. If you guys want to join on the Discord, it's over on Patreon, Bookie Beatdown. If not, yeah, thanks for jumping in tonight, and good luck to everybody on their plays.
I was waiting for you to wrap up, and I was going to say I was going to buy some fucking crystals.
You should. It's a
beat me to
birthday.
it. That's comedy. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Hit the like button on your way out the door and get subscribed to both me and my guy, Cody Saftik, everybody. Good luck this week. Kick some ass. Cash some tickets. Make sure you buy the expensive wrapping for your presents this year because we're buying them all with the gambling fund. Thank you guys one more time. Good luck out there. Have fun. We'll see you for the Total Takedown, the undefeated post weigh-in show also on Friday. Let's freaking roll, you guys. Have a good one this week.